Yes, guys, welcome back to another show, another debate show. I've got a great panel lined up for you today, guys. Going to be talking a load of different things, Liverpool Football Club, and there's a notification from someone. And, so we've got more guests coming on today as well, guys. So, yeah, we're going to talk a lot of things Liverpool Football Club. But before we start today, guys, don't forget, go and subscribe to the channel, like the video. Go and subscribe to the other guys as we talk about them, as they talk today as well. We'll shout out their channels, so make sure you subscribe to them as well. I will be putting a link in the description. I haven't done it yet because I'm a lazy sod and I'll do it in a bit. But yeah, I'll get round to that, guys. So, first out, Ricky, how you doing, my friend? First time in?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks for having me on. Can't complain too much with the news. Nunez is on the verge. So, yeah, no, it's a good day to be a Red.
Exactly, he's making his debut.
Yes, sir.
Stubbsy, my friend. Back again. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, thanks again for having me on. I must have done something right, so pleased with that first and foremost. But no, it's always good to be on the channel, mate. One of the fastest growing channels on YouTube, I presume now. It's just going from strength to strength. So no, thanks for having us on, mate.
No, you're welcome. Always welcome. And Edward.
Hi,
Edward, how are you doing today, fella? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going well. Yeah, nice weather for a change, and yeah, it's good to come on here and discuss the latest news and discuss.
You laying off the beer? You laying off the beer?
Today I am, yeah.
Today I am. Love it. I see Connor. Connor, where is he?
He's put in the chat, yeah.
Connor, if you want to come on, mate, put a thumbs up in the chat and I'll send you the link. Just put a thumbs up in the chat and I'll send, or the link's actually in the chat. So if you want to come on, Connor, just hit the link, mate, and come on. You're more than welcome always. Andrew, how you doing, man? So Dominic King just tweeted, nothing to worry about. Someone replied to my tweet saying it's fine, the details. So it certainly is. It's all good. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Stephen Owens in the house, a team member. Jamie, Ricky, Edwards, and of course, chat.
Evening, mate. How are you doing?
Ali, Paul Joyce versus Fabrizio Romano. Who gets it right for the Nunez? It's amazing. Fabrizio will just copy and paste what everyone else says. They don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Romano saying it's a done deal. Joyce saying £8 million apart. Walled in Portugal to close the deal. The 8 million is just to Almeida. That's all it is. It's good. Savage a beer in 20 minutes. Excellent. And big up yourself as well. Hello, right, lads. How are you all doing? We're doing good, my friend.
Evening, Yusuf.
Well, how are you doing? Well, my friend. Give me 10 minutes. Excellent. Tapping merchants done. And Connor will be here in 10 minutes, guys. So excellent. There's 38 of you already in here, guys. So make sure you go and hit the like button. We're on 24 likes already. So get the likes up. We want 100 likes by the end of the evening. So Nunez. Ricky, Nunez looks like he's on his way to be a Liverpool player. Depending who you talk to, what journalists you listen to on social media and where from around the world. A lot of the Portuguese and Uruguayan journalists have been saying for quite a long time now, for at least 2 weeks, that Liverpool will always go by Nunez. No one else was listening. Everyone thought he was going to Man United at one point. It seems now like it's almost done. And the outlay, almost what? It's 100 million euros if the add-ons are completed as well. So how are you feeling about this big bit of transfer business by the club?
Yeah, I mean, it's massive. It's probably potentially one of the biggest deals the club have done since Virgil van Dijk. You got to look at it as well with the journalist situation. Since we messed that Van Dijk deal up the first time, the English journalists don't seem to get nothing from Liverpool till the deal's near enough done. The foreign journalist seems to know a bit more in depth than what they do over here. But I mean, to get the Nunez deal done in on social media, it's been on there for pretty much 48 hours, how advanced it is. With City signing Haaland, we needed to react. And me and Luke have been crying for a proper number 9 this season, where we've dropped City points here and there. A proper number 9 coming in next season. That deal for me, I wouldn't say he's better than Haaland, but they've both been in unproven leagues. But it matches the Haaland deal in the sense where they're both big boys, they're both big talents. And we've just matched Man City with a striker for striker to try and stay with them next season. But I mean, his goal record speaks for itself in Portugal. People say, it's a farmers' league. Listen, you can only play in the league that you're in against the teams. So we'll see what he can do over here. Like Van Dijk put him in his top 5 toughest players he's played against. So can't complain too much, can we?
No, exactly, Steve. So, like Ricky was saying there, he is one of the biggest, hottest prospects in Europe as a number 9 at the moment. And when you look at the number 9s around Europe that are available, obviously you've got Harry Kane, Lewandowski. They're probably going to be out of our reach. Also, age is a factor.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been saying, I'll get this, you answer this, but I've heard a lot of people say, like, if we're going to bid 100 million euros for Nunez, why don't we just go and give 100 million quid to Tottenham for Harry Kane?
No.
What a lot of people are saying is that Nunez is 22. You've got potential to have him for 10 years in your football club.
Right.
And in that 10 years, he could be Harry Kane, basically, for Liverpool. And you're getting at a cheaper time. With Harry Kane, you got to pay that same amount of money, for 3 years? So for me, I've always said, I think this Nunez, with all the number 9s out there in the world, I don't think there's any great ones at this moment in time, unless you're in the ones that you're never going to go, like your Kane, your Benzema, your Lewandowski wants to go to Barcelona. And they're all in their late 30s as well, most of them as well. Apart from Haaland and Nunez, who are pups and could be the 2 generational number 9s for the future. So how are you feeling on this whole transfer business we're doing?
Excited, mate. You can't not be. It's like you said, it fits the criteria with the club, doesn't it? They like to try and buy young, maybe inexperienced. He obviously is not tested in this league, as Ricky had said, but neither is Haaland. Both in proven leagues, and they're coming over to the best league in the world. But it sits within the FSG remit, doesn't it? Really, they like to try and buy young players, which 22, like you said, Jamie, he could be at the club for another 12, 13 years yet, which is absolutely crazy. Obviously, the reason why we haven't put in the money for Kane is because, like you said, he's the wrong side of 30 now. And most importantly, he'd want wages well and above in excess of £300,000 a week, which is, it's not something that we would do. It doesn't fit in with our criteria. So, yeah, I think who was out there, like I say, Lewandowski's got his heart set on Barcelona, so he wasn't available. We're not going to go and buy a Benzema because he's in his late 30s as well. So I think all the people that were really realistically available as a number 9 was only basically Nunez or Nkunku for Leipzig. So I think we've definitely got the better deal. I think Haaland as well. He's injury prone, and if he's getting injured in the German league, it's a physical league, the Premier League, and he's going to be in for a massive shock once he gets through that first tackle. Doesn't matter who it's against, if it's a Van Dijk or a Milner or whoever it may be that he's playing against, he's going to know that he's in a game when he's coming to the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. Before I get to Edward and Tom, is he? I know there's an England game on today, but guys, it's shit. Just watch this. I did the last 2 England watch-alongs, and that's why I'm not doing it today. It was 180 minutes. I'm never getting back in my life. I am sick of seeing England play 5 at the back against everybody. It is so negative. It's unreal.
I know.
I
did warn you.
I can't put myself through it anymore. I really can't. So I thought this would be better. So come and watch this, guys. Forget about England. They'll probably lose anyway. So Edward, like Steve was saying there, I've got some of Nunez's stats up. So Nunez this year in the Premier Liga in Portugal, he played 28 matches, 26 goals, and 4 assists. The year before, 29, 6 goals, 9 assists. You know, he's only a young guy. He's like 20, 21 then. So that STEM stats are still good, really, for a kid his age.
Yeah, definitely.
Champions League this year, 10 matches, 6 goals. He's proven himself already. He is a talented young boy. Edward, how happy are you about this bit of business?
I'm very happy because I wanted us to sign a number 9 for quite a long time now because we lacked that. As we've seen in the 3 cup finals we had last season now, we lacked that clinical striker and with the crosses from Trent and Robbo on both flanks, having that prop for number 9 in that box to get on the end of them, I think will help us a lot. And you mentioned his stats as well, but he also scores big goals. And for example, he doesn't. If when Benfica win 4 or 5-0, he doesn't get the 4th or 5th goal. He gets the first goal. So he scores important goals in important games, like the Champions League. So his record is in the Champions League tells you more about his projection as a striker going forward than perhaps in the Portuguese league would. Also, secondly, I would say it tells us a couple of things. Tells us that our intentions are still we're going to push City all the way still, and we're going to drop off into a Champions League race. We want to fight for the title and the Champions League. And also, it tells me that Jurgen wants to evolve the team going forward, perhaps change the formation to a 4-2-3-1, back to his Dortmund days of formation, but also having that striker as a focal point as well. So I'm happy with it a lot.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. Tom, how you doing, my friend?
Big up to everyone on the panel today. Big up to the chat, first of all. Yeah. Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good. All right. About Nunez, as I think you guys have said, he's unproven, but I look at it as a good thing because I think Premier League defenders they won't know they haven't assessed yet the strengths and weakness. So I look at it as an advantage, just like Luis Diaz, right? No one. I mean, the defenders especially when they play up against him, like Reece James, he doesn't have a good idea. So I look Nunez as, if I'm a centre back, I don't know whether to go straight to him or drop deep. So those kind of things. So it's that unknown territory is for me it's a good thing, and also Jurgen Klopp would nurture him to another level. That's how I see Nunez.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree. Sorry, I'm just like Jack is commenting on other things on Twitter, and I'm like, "Have you seen your link, Jack?" I love Jack.
Terrible. You'll get a message tomorrow saying I totally forgot.
I totally forgot. So we've oh, there you go. He's heard. Hang on. He's hang on. Let's see what he says. I say won't be able to make. Very sorry, mate. Won't be able to make it. It's birthday weekend. Lads are taking me out. Big up to you, Jack. Happy birthday to you, Jack. I didn't know it was your birthday weekend, my friend.
Happy birthday, mate.
Yeah, happy birthday.
27, is that? I think he said he was 26.
God.
So yeah, he's a young'un. He's a young'un. A big happy birthday to Jack. So with Nunez coming in, we have been crying out for me, Ricky, I don't know about you, but we have been crying out for a clinical finisher for quite some time now. Now, we do score a lot of goals. Salah gets 30 goals a season. Mane gets 20 goals a season. Jota got 20 goals this season. Scored 140 goals this season in all competitions. So it sounds mad saying we need a goal scorer, but because of the amount of chances we make in every single game, we do score goals. But if you look at Salah, Salah's not clinical.
30 chance a game, Salah.
Yeah, he's not a clinical striker. He's a very good player. Let's not get us wrong. He's a world-class talent, but just not a clinical striker. He's a very good goal scorer. It's a difference. We've been crying out for one, and I think what made most Liverpool fans realise this was the Champions League final, because let's get this right, in the Champions League final, we dominated Real Madrid. We had endless shots, but the ball never went back in the net. In my opinion, if we had Darwin Nunez in that game, we would have been European champions. That's what, in my opinion, because he would have been in the right place at the right time to put the ball in the back of the net. So go to you, Ricky. Do you understand? When you look on social media at the moment, talk Liverpool fans, there's a bit of a 50-50 split between fans on Darwin Nunez. Do you understand it at all?
No, I mean, going back to your point where Salah, Mane, and Jota, they score goals, but we have a proper number 9. We won the league last year. The 2-2 at home to Brighton, the 3-3 away to Brentford. All right, we weren't good defensively in that game. The 2-2 to City at home, the Chelsea draws at home and away.
Yeah.
I mean, the league wasn't as to lose, but in a way it was, because we dropped silly points. And if we have a clinical number 9, they'll score a goal out of nothing, these proper number 9s. I mean, Salah, I love Salah, but when you're taking 30 chances to score 1 or 2 goals, you can only get away with it for a certain amount of time against certain teams. It works against the crap teams because you create many chances against them. The top team, Champions League final, we should have buried that Real Madrid team. I mean, we see City pump goals past them, Chelsea pump goals past them. They struggled in the Champions League group stage for a little bit at home to Sheriff, I believe. And we didn't score against them. I mean, if you have a proper number 9, they will score against these teams, and they score out of nothing. It only has to fall to them in the box. And if they're clinical enough, they score. It's not taking nothing away from Jota. He scored enough goals, 20 goals. Salah hit, again, massive amount of goals. Mane hit a load of goals. But it's just indecisive. It's all right hitting goals when you're 4-0 up already. But when you need that one goal, you need someone to do it there and then, and not take that many chances to do it. But listen, Liverpool's social media is a funny one. We complain when the club don't spend money. I haven't been FSG's biggest fan over the years. No. I'm now starting to see them do what they should have done. They're backing Klopp. They've given Klopp the new contract. They've told him they're going to sign new players. We do spend big. Listen, we can't use the Coutinho money every time we sign something like that. Money went. But, I mean...
Hang on, I think Ant says it here. Where is it? He says it is somewhere. Yeah. You go, is that still the Coutinho?
Yeah. But, yeah, like, we've got Liverpool fans on Twitter criticising we don't spend money. Then when we do go spend money, it's too much money. It's not your money. I mean, Liverpool... Liverpool took in record amount of income over this season and last. Over 500 million, I believe it was. A number that's come up somewhere. So we've got money to spend. And listen, we were going to go pump 80 million on Tuchami in centre midfield. So there's money there to go get players if we need them and when we need them.
Exactly. I totally agree. I mean, I don't know about you, Steve. I don't get this. I talk to a lot of Liverpool fans. Obviously, we all do YouTube and all that. So you see a lot of them, they talk about, I don't want Nunez. It's too much money, or his link-up play is not good enough. I'm sick of the link-up play as well. We had some great link-up play against Real Madrid. Did anyone put the ball in the back of the net? This is the problem. You don't have to. He's got to have better link-up play, better playing with better players. By the way, Haaland's link-up play is only 1% higher than Nunez's, and no one says anything.
Yeah.
Because his job is to put the ball in the back of the net. His play will get better with Liverpool because he's going to have Diaz on the left of him, Salah on the right of him, Thiago behind him. It will. Even I can pass the ball to them. So, do you understand this 50-50 split in the Liverpool fan base at the moment you see around about Nunez? Because for me, it's confusing. Yeah,
it is strange. It's like the concept of Marmite. You either love them or hate them, isn't it? So that's the best analogy I could sort of give you when it comes to fans if they're in FSG in, FSG out. But like Ricky said, it's not our money, it's their money. It's a good thing that they're reinvesting it in the squad. And when you think about it, I think someone else said in the chat, 3 finals that we've been in. Yes, we've won 2 of them, but we didn't score any goals in them finals, which that we need to change that. Yes, the problem during the season wasn't scoring goals, but when it comes to it in the big games, when you want someone to stand up and be counted for, no one put themselves forward. So for me, I think it's a big statement of intent from the owners. Obviously, first of all, let's not get ahead of ourselves. They're not going to be stumping up 100 million euros straight away. It'll be done in installments. It's not going to be a huge amount laid out first and foremost. It's going to be done in installments anyway. But yeah, I don't understand it. If obviously the whinge, like Ricky said, when we don't sign players, but then when we sign players, it's too much. It's just get over yourself. Just enjoy it. I mean, it's something that's going to strengthen our squad, which is already world class. And I think it obviously offers as a plan B, because it doesn't make us that predictable going forward when they're trying to look at our lineup and predict what our lineup's going to be. So it's, if anything, it's going to benefit even more having a plan B now as well, because just having one plan, you can easily be found out, which we have done in the past. So yeah, I don't understand why there's 50-50 amongst the fan base myself. I'm just pleased that we're getting a natural born goal scorer in. And I think I agree with yourself, Jamie. If Nunez was playing, he's going to be playing with world-class striker, world-class players around him. He's only going to get better, and I think he's the man that will take the chances when needed. So win-win for me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've seen a lot of comments here. We're going to get to these comments a bit later. Like Dave says, his only problem is the money we go to spend and we go buy anyone else. And I think we are. I've said it a few weeks ago. I think Liverpool go to do a madness this summer and surprise a lot of people. And I think we will. We're going to get to that in a minute because we're going to talk about midfield. But Edward, your opinion on like somebody like Dave? He's happy about Nunez, but the money he's not too sure about. I can understand it. But in my opinion, I see Liverpool fans always moaning that we don't go and get the next big thing and just pay the money and get him in their club. We always say that. Why don't we ever just go and get the next big thing, pay the money, get him in our club, and then we got him for the future? We looks like we've done that with Darwin Nunez. Let's not get this wrong. Yeah, he's had one great season. He was all right the season before, but he's been doing it this season in his league. He's been doing it in the Champions League, scoring against all the European best teams this season. He's a proper player. He's 22 years of age. The man's got to be better. He's got to only get better, and he's got to be playing for Liverpool Football Club. He's got to sign a 5-year contract, so he's got to be here for much longer than that, in my opinion. So, do you understand the issues Liverpool fans have as well, Edward, over this deal?
I understand it, but I don't accept it. I understand it from the point of view is most of the fan base are saying we're one of the best 3 teams in the world at the moment, so they're expecting a Kane, Lewandowski, a Haaland, but they're will be on obscene wages, and obviously 2 of them won't want to be here. And I also understand it from the point of view that Nunez has only had one breakout season, but I don't accept it because, as he said, this is a statement signing of our intentions of you need to evolve the team. Mane, Salah are in their 30s. You need to evolve the way we've been playing to move forward as a team, as a unit. And having that clinical number 9 helps us. And yes, it's a high price we're paying, but that's because there's less number 9s about in world football. So if there's less number 9s about in world football, they're going to have a premium price. And anyway, the price is not going to, the basic fee is not going to be £68 million, which equates to 80 million euros. So once you figure out the euros and pounds, it's not that high. And with the add-ons, I would definitely want to pay the 20 million add-ons. It means we're successful. I forgot. So we should want to pay the add-ons because it means we're successful. If it's 20 million add-ons, that's great. Exactly. So, as I said, I understand where they're coming from, but I don't accept their point of view.
Yeah, exactly. Like Johnny says, it's 20 million over 5 years. I'm FSG's biggest fan, but you've got to love the way how we do these deals. Yeah, Julian Ward. Everyone was worried when Michael Edwards was going. Julian Ward has just sort of stepped in and went, "Hold my beer." I'm not insane.
he done the Diaz deal, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did the Diaz deal.
He's actually bought 2 quality players by the look of it already. and spent money. I've got a question about Michael Edwards later. That might be. Yeah, I think Steve was here the other day when I asked the same question.
Yeah.
Tom, is he my man? So,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it on social media or seen about it. Like Liverpool fans are a bit 50-50 on the Nunez deal. They're worried it's too much money. He's too raw. Why didn't we go for Haaland instead if we were spending this money? Because I think people believe Haaland only cost 56 million. Haaland cost 200 million. It's as simple as that. So that's why no one went near Haaland. What do you think of this deal? Do you understand Liverpool fans' worry about it, or do you think we're just being a bit too overcautious, overprotective, worried for no reason?
I think that we're in an age where clubs like City and United, even Chelsea, they spend a big amount of money. So it seems like we need to react. We're sometimes we have to react what other clubs do just to splash some money. But we see what happened with all these transfers, especially Man United. No, it's not that I want to put Man United into the shade, but it's just that we actually spend as well. Like people say, we spend on Van Dijk, we spend on Alisson. Now, most probably we get Nunez. But I think if we spend it, the amount that what has been reported, then I'm pretty sure the transfer committee and especially Jurgen Klopp, they're convinced that he's the guy to bring us forward. So I do understand about the reaction from us, the fan base, but yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? With us, I think it's more of a statue of us being the top two right now.
Yeah.
When we were during Rodgers' era, we're more of a we're not as split as we are right now. I think that's how we are. I think we're in an age where United fans during the Sir Alex Ferguson, I think they're quite split. So we're at the position right now. So I do get it, but that's how us fan base, sometimes the reaction we are. I think it's in us, isn't it? Yeah, that's how I see it.
Definitely. My man, look, the Liverpool fan base. How are you doing, my man?
How are we?
The Liverpool fan base is and sometimes be quite toxic, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't want us to start becoming like Arsenal fans and being like that. I don't get it half the time. Look, we've been asking FSG and spend money for how long? They go and spunk 100 million euros on a striker. It's just we're doing something at last. And as everyone's saying, the amount of number 9s out there is savage in the house as well.
Hey, savage.
How are we, boys?
Good, you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Is my audio okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sweet. All right, boys. Everyone all right, yeah?
Yeah, we're good, mate.
Good.
With the amount of number 9s that are out there at this moment in time that are untenable, that you can get into your team, there ain't really many. Look, we ain't had many number 9s. That we all love Divock Origi. He's a cult legend at Liverpool Football Club. We'd always love him. Jurgen Klopp didn't. So let's just put that to the side. If Jurgen Klopp loved Divock Origi would have been playing football for Liverpool. He obviously didn't rate Divock like we all rate Divock, and that's fair enough. We needed number 9. We haven't had a proper number 9 since Suarez, Torres. Then we had people like Lambert. Jesus Christ. Ricky Lambert, Christian Benteke, Barini. I mean, Balotelli. Oh my God, crap we have done. So, people worry about this deal. Go back in time and look at them transfers. Yankovic, was it Yankovic?
Yeah.
Yeah, transfers have been bad at Liverpool.
Paul Franceschi, don't forget him. Never forget him. Oh.
So I don't see. So Connor, I don't know if you've seen it. There's a lot of Liverpool fan base are split down the middle with Nunez, Darwin Nunez. Some people think Darwin Nunez isn't a good footballer and it's not worth the money. Some people think we need a clinical striker. There isn't many to choose from. And at the end of the day, goals are a premium. So you're paying premium price for them sort of players. So what's your opinions on this whole transfer?
I can't wait for it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I laugh, I've spoken to a few views, and when people go on about his pass accuracy, and I'm like, just shut up, please. Like, we're not bringing him in to pass the ball, are we? We're bringing him in to finish the goals. We're bringing him in to be the guy to, like a Madrid, get us that 1 or 2 goals. Win us that game. It's hard out there at the minute for strikers. It's one of the positions in Europe that is very, very short of. I was listening earlier on. I think Rick mentioned Nkunku. It's the fact that that practically was the only other option Liverpool could go to. If it wasn't Darwin Nunez this summer, obviously Erling Haaland was, club's probably first choice if you looked at it. But, you listen to what Jurgen said in the press conference when we played Benfica, and, you go back in time and look at, when he's spoken about Virgil van Dijk, Alisson, even Luis Diaz, more recently, he said pretty similar things, which, for me, I'm confident with this. Jurgen's got plenty of good track records when it comes to strikers. Robert Lewandowski, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang when he was at Dortmund, Immobile as well. He's had very good records with strikers. And, Darwin Nunez, 22, he turns 23 next week. We're going to have at least 8 years of Darwin Nunez at the top of his game. And, he could even go a bit further as well. And I'm very much looking forward to it. Yes, the price tag, like as you guys said, we all complain when Liverpool don't spend money. And when we do, we complain that we spend money, so we can't win either way. But I'm excited, mate. I'm really looking forward to pre-season already and seeing what he can do. And seeing how the system changes as well, because I'm going to be interested, because I think the false 9 isn't going to be a thing for Liverpool next season.
No. So Darwin Nunez, Diaz, Mo Salah, front three. How excited?
I'm excited, man. But don't leave my boy Jota out, man. But I'm excited. I'm excited, man. I'm kind of echo what Connor said, to be honest. Why? There's no reason not to be excited. All that pass accuracy rubbish and stuff. Let's be honest. It was a narrative built by the odd person on social media, and everyone just picked it up and ran with it. Because if everyone thought of that off the top of their head, then there's something wrong with the world. No, this is the first striker in history I've ever heard people talk about his pass accuracy. I've never heard it, and it's quite proven that people rubbed it off some other social media person because they got it wrong, didn't they? Everyone was acting like that was his pass accuracy in the whole league and stuff like that. The only stat I was looking at was 1, can he stay fit, and 2, can he bang in all the goals, and he was doing it. So it's an exciting time for us. I think obviously there's the downer of losing Mane and whatever, but it's not like we forced him out. He's choosing to leave. You know what I mean? So good luck to him. But onwards and upwards, the team's evolving. It was evolving. It's been doing that, to be honest. We've been evolving our team. It's just we've been doing it bit by bit. And yeah, when the front three you've just said, and then thinking of the rotation and the squad, thinking of how good we've been anyway, and that's without him in the team. He can only make the team better. You know what I mean? Even if he doesn't add as much as people think he's going to add, he can only make the team a lot better, because I've said plenty of times the depth is there in our squad. But the only time I've ever been excited by a bench is when we played against Newcastle, and that's because all of our big guys were on the bench. Like, the whole team was on the bench. Apart from that, I keep asking people who is excited by anyone who comes on as a sub for Liverpool, and no one gives me an answer. Maybe Harvey sometimes, but he's not. He's been injured, so I'm just excited to have him in our squad. He's a top player. Any people who are saying that he can't play football, I promise you, Jamie, they're not watching him play football. It's just because he's chose to go to Liverpool. If this was him choosing to go to Real Madrid, everyone would be saying he's the best player in the world.
Exactly.
People started to say, I was watching people when everyone thought that Tuchel might come Liverpool, all of a sudden there was stuff about Tuchel's stats and what he does wrong, and I'm like, okay, this is a Liverpool thing. We're used to it by now. Everyone who comes to Liverpool's trash, I know. But when was buying Van Dijk? It's a waste of money. It's too much money. He isn't as good as you think he is. Okay, Alisson's not that good. Start spending the money. Okay, I'm used to it. So yeah, man, haterade, innit? I love it, bro. I love it, and I'm in silence, man. I'm not tweeting anything or posting anything about other fans. I just find it funny, and I'm happy with it because I know it's burning them inside. It's burning them, and a lot of it's going to come from Man U fans and that, but it's all good. Bro. Yeah, man. Welcome, Darwin. You know, like that. I can't wait for the season to start. To be honest, I've had enough of international football already, bro. Soccer ain't allow me, man.
Saint, if you are finished doing what you needed to do, I have sent a link in your Twitter if you want to join my friend.
Well, we're saying on date night, innit?
He's on date night, yeah, and he's with the mother-in-law, so he's probably.
Mate, that's what I was doing, bro. I was when I messaged you, I was on the way back from the cinemas, bro. So I was like,
"What'd you go and see?"
Jurassic Park.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. That's what
I'll save your money, guys. Save your money. It's the worst out.
All right.
I've lost my train of thought now. So our forward line next season. So if we're looking at what Jurgen Klopp will probably think is his A team front three, will probably be Diaz on the left, Salah on the right, Darwin through the middle. His B team front three will probably be Carvalho, Bobby, and Jota. So that's 6 forwards we got. Ricky, are you happy with them 6 going into next season?
I mean, that forward line is second to none, really. It's probably on par with Man City. If you look at it, they're the only 2 teams with top forward lines. The only thing that worries me is what's behind it. But them 6 can create something out of nothing. Bobby is just a dream to play with. Jota, for me, his best position is down the middle. It's not either side of the wings. He don't really offer much either side. It's going to be interesting to see how Salah reacts to this Darwin Nunez signing because he's a proper number 9. Salah tends to sometimes not see the man when he's available.
Yeah.
But listen, we thought we were close to winning all 4 this season. Next season with Darwin Nunez and potentially a couple others coming in, why not go for it again? I think there won't be more than 5 goals between Haaland and Nunez next season, either way. I think one of them will win the Golden Boot next season. But it's going to be interesting because you can also switch it up a little bit. We see Fabio Carvalho with Fulham this season with Mitrovic playing off him, them 2 playing together up top. So if they want to go that route in certain games to like break the low block or whatnot. But it's going to be interesting. I can't wait for the season. I mean, get this England dross off the TV. Yeah. Send the Liverpool boys home. I mean, Scotland tried to kill Andy Robertson by playing him 3 times in 10 days. Send him home, please. I just can't wait. Let's get this league started and just smash City all over the place next season.
Absolutely mad. I agree. I'll just getting something up. Steve, your opinion on that 6 we're going with next season?
Yeah, happy with that, to be honest. I think just going back to the Mane situation as well, I think another thing what's sort of maybe favoured Klopp in to potentially sell them is if AFCON does again be in January, then we're not losing as many players because obviously we'd already lose Salah and Naby. So that's maybe another thing that's to consider. But if you look at it, I mean, look at our forward line that you mentioned not so long ago when we had Barini and Balotelli, Ricky Lambert, etc. It's miles, it's 100 million times better than what we've obviously had in the past. So, and like I say, I think it's going to make it a lot more harder for teams to predict how we're going to line up because, like I say, Ricky's already mentioned about Carvalho playing under obviously a tall striker in Mitrovic last season, so that's another option. So I just can't wait. The season starts pre-season. First game is actually a month tomorrow, isn't it, against Man United, isn't it? So that's something to look forward to as well. So it's a lot sooner. The season starting sooner. And I agree with Ricky. Get this England dross off straight away. I just can't stand international football. I really can't. Not unless it's the World Cup or the Euros. That's the only two things I really, really sort of watch. But
Agreed.
no, I'm just so excited for the season to start. I can't wait for Nunez to just obviously be at the AXA training ground, holding the shirt up, just to prove that he's here and he's ready to start and ready to get going.
Yeah, he's no hologram like a certain defender we had.
Yeah.
Who's missing in that? This is the team lineup. Who's missing? Who's not even on the bench?
Man, like Darwin and that, like that. This gee's at the
Yeah.
airport, bro.
Cavani, look at Cavani. I've got to mention Cavani. Yeah. I'm going to give Cavani props. Thanks to Man United playing with you ain't no more. If the rumours are true that he told Nunez not to go to Man United and join Liverpool, Cavani's one of my favourite ever footballers.
Yeah.
If that rumours are true, and he hates Man United that much that he told them not to don't go to Man United, go to Liverpool. I just think that's brilliant. And he gave the middle finger to the fans coming off the team bus as well, which is just...
They deserve it, man.
Yeah. Cavani's brilliant.
I'll back any footballer saying stuff back to fans, You can't just be swearing at fans and saying horrible stuff. And you know what I mean? Say it back to them. Stand up.
Yeah, exactly. Edward, that front six next season, you happy with that six going into the season?
I'm happy. I would be happier if we changed the formation to a 4-2-3-1 because I'm still a bit unsure about playing Jota as a backup for Salah on the right. But if we change formations, I'd be less worried about that, as it then allow us to have either Bobby or Carvalho as that number 10 role, and we have Diaz and Salah and on either side. But we would still need, in an ideal world, would have a Salah backup. But in the 4-2-3-1, I think you can get away with having, if we're losing Taki, I think we can get away with perhaps playing on the occasion Harvey there on the right hand side to back up, and or Diaz can even play on the right as well, allowing Jota to play on the left because I do think Jota is okay on the left as well as centrally. So it gives us some options in the 4-3-3 and the 4-2-3-1. So it gives us a bit more flexibility. But hopefully you want to see a bit more 4-2-3-1 going forward. I think that's more.
Fair enough, my friend. But Tom, is it same question?
I look at the front line. There's a blend of, I say, experience in Bobby and Salah. More the senior players now, especially they're reaching 30s, and then I see the young blood in Harvey Elliott and Fabio Carvalho, which I'm the most looking forward, anticipated in actually Fabio Carvalho because he's performing ever so well. He scored that goal, the consolation against City, so he's the one apart from Nunez. And I look at the front line. Even if Salah's not playing, probably rested, Fabio Carvalho on the right is not that bad because you have a sort of Portuguese connection with Luis Diaz and Darwin Nunez. So this front line is, as I say, unpredictable and as well as uncharted territory. So Premiership defenders will not know what's going to happen. So yeah, I'm pretty excited in the sense that we're in I say a new direction, a different phase now. So it's going to be a different proposition. It's not just pace, but pace and power. A mix of combination. Yeah, I'm excited.
Good man. Connor, same question, mate.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with everyone else. I think, obviously Taki's going. It does leave us a bit short. I know Ricky's now fuming because I mentioned Taki. But no, I think it. Obviously, I think Taki's off to Monaco, isn't he? But I would have liked him to have stayed. Obviously Capiro and all that, but with the rest of the forward line that's there, or predicted to be there anyway, that's exciting. I think Fabio Carvalho it's going to be interesting to see where he is going to be played, because he can play, in four positions practically. And I think Harvey Elliott as well. It'll be interesting to see where he starts this season off as well, because obviously last year, 4 games, 4 played for Harvey before his injury. So it is going to be interesting to see where he does fit into and whether or not Jurgen will go back to that, because we haven't really seen Harvey Elliott since he came back. Obviously played that game for Cardiff, and then he's just been kept, in my opinion, for this coming season, because I think Jurgen did have a lot of big plans for Harvey Elliott last season, and hopefully that will be the case. Hopefully Fabio Carvalho will get opportunities in crucial games, and hopefully Harvey Elliott can kick on as well. But again, I'm very much looking forward to seeing Darwin Nunez play under Jurgen Klopp.
Great, Savage. Same question, mate.
Yeah, a lot of echoing on what everyone said. I'm with Tom. Is he on Carvalho? Is the person I'm most excited to see, to be honest. He's I watched him a lot last year in the Championship last season. So good, man. There's a lot of talk of like the age and stuff in our squad, but for me, like, if you're good enough, innit? Like, Mbappe's not old, so it seemed like it's one thing for one player and the other one. Do you know what I mean? Like, think of all the people down the years who have been great footballers, and a lot of them, by the time they were like 20, 21 and that, they were doing big things. So I'm very excited to see how they play. It's going to be exciting to see how Klopp sets up. I've been thinking a lot about the squad as well. Like, people probably don't agree, man, but for me, I'm more excited about the setup going into next season than I was last season. And the reason I say that is because we were going off the previous seasons. Obviously, I know everyone was injured and stuff like that, but it was looking like, obviously, Mane on the left wasn't working anymore. And it just seemed like he was not going to play there anymore at all. And obviously, the number 9 thing was kind of a thing where give him games on it, and then he started to score goals. So for me, the better strike force is going into this season, because it's a natural number 9 up top. We'd never thought that Mane was going to be a number 9, and yeah, he was good for half a season. But yeah, it's so exciting. I think we're going to score a lot of goals, which we already do, to be honest. I think the younger midfielders will chip in with more goals, because I think they're quite tenacious with it. They're going to want to get on the front foot. People like Harvey and Carvalho, they run at you, which is what we're missing. We don't have that. Naby was supposed to be that, and to be fair to him, he always starts his run like he's gonna do that, but he doesn't do it often enough, and sometimes he lacks a bit of confidence going forward with it. Taki always tries to attack the front, but yeah, watching that Real Madrid final back, when I'm talking about carrying the ball, that's so important to us, because there's the front line, and then like what everyone said, what's behind it. And that's what we lacked in that Real Madrid game. There was so much part to that game when we was already losing. We needed urgency in the game to get forward, and we just took our time in midfield because no one wanted to carry the ball. Hendo won't do that, because Hendo's is more cautious with us losing a goal, to be honest, which is not a bad thing. We need somebody like that. But there's parts where they kept giving the ball to Hendo for him to carry it, and he carried it so slow and cautious. I just need these young guns to believe in himself. If Klopp believes in you, then you've got the confidence to do what you're doing on the pitch, and just try some stuff. And as long as the fan base don't get on them, you know what I mean, they're going to make mistakes in the game. We've got this complex lately, us Liverpool fans, where everything has to be perfect, and then as soon as one thing goes wrong, they're the worst player on the planet. No, it's not like that. We said that with Curtis Jones before. One mistake, and all of a sudden he's rubbish, and he needs to go out on loan. They're all going to make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes on the pitch and off the pitch, but give them time to grow. We've got enough experience in the squad to help them along anyway. I think we've got experience in all the right spots, to be honest, because even the younger experienced guys like I think Jota's 25, and Diaz and all that, they're still quite experienced. So I'm excited, man. I'm very excited. That's kind of all I got to say on it, because I just want the season to start, bro. I just want to see a Liverpool match now, man. That season's done. I've got over what I need to get over. I'm excited to see what's going forward. When I'm looking at the improvements of course, we talk about Man City all the time because they're the closest to us. I see that obviously Tottenham seem they're going to improve as well. I think they've got Spence if they haven't yet, which is a big signing for them, to be fair. But I'm looking at the squads, and I don't know what Man City is going to bring in for the rest. If they only bring in Haaland and Julian Alvarez, I think that we've got the better signings, to be honest. I think we'll go into the squad. I think we'll be a little bit better because, listen, they weren't much better than us already. So I think I think Darwin's going to get us over the line in certain games. Certain 0-0 games, certain 1-0 games and stuff. Them aimless crosses into the box. They only look aimless sometimes because there's no one to attack them. Don't get me wrong, some of them are trash. They always go to the back post and no one's there. But some of them, I've watched Trent, as much as he gets all these assists, Trent probably should get about 24 assists a season with the amount of chances we miss. I think, I don't know if it was Connor or Ricky you said about to see how Salah's going to be with Darwin up front. I'm interested to see that as well, because knowing that he's likely going to have 1 year left on his contract and he's probably not going to re-sign, the fact that he's going to want to keep going for solo honours, which is fine as long as he helps the team out. And I think he does have the team in mind when he's saying that he has him in mind. But I think when he gets on the pitch, it's kind of tunnel vision. And at some point, he's going to have to act as a winger instead of this cutting on the left business all the time. But Salah's a top player, man. He's had a bit of a hard stick, but when we think of how good he is, I'm sure he can adapt. I've seen him play with Dzeko and he was dope. I'm saying that Nunez, I'm pretty sure he'll get a lot of goals, probably between like 15 and 20. And I think Salah will still get the same amount of goals as he always gets, to be honest. He might get more goals with with Nunez there. I really believe so. All them little flick-ons and stuff off the back. Come on, man. I'm here for it, man. Bring it on. Fox City every time, bro.
Definitely. Rods, my man, how are you?
Rods, evening, mate.
Big up,
How's it going?
Yeah, man. Just like to say good evening to everybody.
Good evening, mate.
And I hope everybody had a good day today.
Yeah,
man. So that's good. Yeah, man. I just like it's exciting times for Liverpool still. When you look at it, do you know what I mean? I think we've analysed last season and sort of like spotted what we've been missing and looking to bring them in now. Because I always said that we need an out strike and everything, and now we're going to get that. I know Man United tried to sort of scupper our plans, but this wasn't going to happen for them, was it really? But yeah, it's exciting times. You got the young kid Carvalho's come through. You know what I mean? So that's good. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think at the end of the day the Liverpool signings have finished. I think they're going to get about 2 more bodies in, and I think that'll be it. Do you know what I mean? On who it's going to be, because we're literally linked with everybody now, aren't we? Fabio Vieira from Porto, Gerald. Sorry?
I don't know who that was.
Ratis. So yeah, Fabio Vieira from Porto, Gerald Bowen. There's something come out today about a swap deal with Minamino and Rafinha. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to get linked with sort of like, a lot of players and everything now. Personally, I think we just need 2 more bodies and I think that'd be it. But you know what? On the whole, at the end of the day, it's exciting times for Liverpool. I'm ready to move forward, as Sammy said. I'm ready to move forward and from that. And yeah, Klopp, just long may it last. I think it's very exciting times for Liverpool, and I think it's very, very good. This is what we've been waiting for. Because as you said, if Man City obviously going to get like Haaland, they're going to get that other guy, Alvarez, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that's going to worry us. Do you know what I mean? I think at the day we can still cope and we can still do something. Because in the Premiership, Man City and Liverpool are the teams to beat. Simply our teams to beat. So it's exciting times for Liverpool. Exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Totally looking forward to it.
Totally agree. Right. Let's get off the striker stand. Midfield. So a lot of people are worried that we're not going to get a midfielder this summer because we spent so much money on Darwin Nunez. And I've said I think we will get a midfielder. We were very interested in Tuchemeni. That is the truth. We were very, very, very interested in him, and we always wanted Darwin Nunez. So it looked like we was always interested in buying 2 players, a midfielder and a striker this summer. Obviously, when the bid goes to 100 million euros for Tuchemeni and Real Madrid are in it, there is no point going to war with Real Madrid because you're not going to win. It's just wasting your time. It's easy to pull out the deal.
Yeah.
With the midfielders, I've said this for a while now. Every midfielder we've been linked with, apparently this summer, they're all defensive-minded midfielders. I mean, Tuchemani can play that 6 and 8 position. Calvin Phillips, we've been linked with. Sangara from PSV, we've been linked with. They're all defensive kind of midfielders, Ricky. So, one, do you see us buying a midfielder this summer? 2, who do you think it'll be?
I don't think we'll buy a centre midfielder now. Not because of money. I think we've got more than enough money to go get the centre midfielder we want. Tuchemi was the one we wanted. We missed out on him. You know, Klopp's not one for rush buying if he don't get his target. We all know the end goal was Jude Bellingham. Apparently, there's rumours Liverpool have been talking to Dortmund since early May to try and get him out of there this summer. It's not going to happen. Next season, I think we'll be at the front of the queue for him. So I don't think there's no point buying a stopgap centre midfielder this summer when you've got the likes of Harvey Elliott that can play there. You've got Curtis. People forget about Curtis Jones. You've got Naby Keita who can do a job. You've got Henderson. You've got Fabinho. I'm sure there's a few others out there that I ain't named. But for me, next season, I think we need to switch the midfield three up a little bit. For me, next season, it'll be Fabinho in the 6, it'll be Thiago on the left-hand side, and it'll be Elliott or Jones in the other position. I mean, Henderson, for me, don't start a lot next season. I think you could see this season, Henderson's been a massive servant for us over the last 10 years. But you can start to see his legs are going a little bit in certain games. So against the smaller teams like the teams that have come up, the lower end teams, you've got to give Curtis Jones and Harvey that role to go attack these teams. We can't have 3 of the same similar players in Thiago, Henderson and Fabinho all playing against these teams that we can't break down. There's no point signing Nunez and players like that in that case. But if his name's not Jude Bellingham, we're not signing the centre midfielder this summer. I don't see the point of wasting money on a stopgap. We don't do it. We tend to scout for years and years on these players, look at them on their development. I can't even tell you who's out there, who's a top centre midfielder that we could go get this summer. You've got the likes of Barella at Inter Milan, who looks like he signed a new deal there, and he's going to be given the captain's armband. Jude won't come because they've let Haaland go this summer, unless we bid stupid money for him, and that potentially might get him out of there. The geezer from PSV, I mean, if we go to sign him, you might as well just give City the league. Because have you seen him play? I mean, he's slow. He's slow for one. He don't offer much in terms of goals or assists. The kid from Porto, they're talking about Vieira, he's still very young. There's not... We moan when we don't give youth a chance. So Curtis Jones needs more game time, otherwise he ain't going to fulfill his potential. And Klopp needs to stop turning him into that Genie Wijnaldum role. We've evolved from that role. We've passed that. Curtis Jones in the under-23 was banging goals, left, right, and centre. He was hitting them from range. He was creating chances. But we're trying to turn Curtis Jones into, you get the ball, but then turn around to refresh it and go again. And then you've got like Naby Keita for me. There's talk about offering him a new deal. I get why they're offering him a new deal because he goes for free next summer, and we can't let too many players run down their contracts and go for free. I don't think Naby Keita is good enough. He hasn't fulfilled that potential that he come with the hype. But we paid 50 million for him, so we can't allow him to go for free because it's ridiculous if we keep allowing it. But one thing saying for Naby Keita, he stayed fit a lot this season. Played more minutes this season than I think he has in the last 2-3 years. That's a sign. But I'd like to see Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott needs us. People are wondering why he didn't come back to play many games after that injury. His social media, someone needs to get hold of that to stop him. I think Klopp punished him, and I think Klopp punished him by putting him in that game away to Inter Milan, and he did look out of depth in that game a little bit. It looked like it bypassed him. And I think Klopp punished him in that game by putting him in there with the big boys. But listen, the kid's a talent. If he settles down, him, Carvalho, and Curtis Jones, I mean, wow. We've got 3 of the best players, and they're all homegrown.
I agree, Ricky. Everything you said there, mate. Steve, so I think Ricky's got a big point. We did this with Virgil van Dijk. We were desperate for a centre back, absolutely desperate for a centre back. We had Skirtle and Lovren in the back, and Mignolet in goal, and we were like, Jesus, them times, and we're desperate for a centre back. And what we did with Southampton was a bit naughty, so we were like, sorry, we won't. But we never went and bought one. We never went and bought one, even though we were desperate for one, because Jurgen Klopp said, there is no point me buying a centre back because the only one I want is Virgil van Dijk, because as soon as I get in, we're winning everything. And he was right. In the end, we had to pay. The deal was meant to be 50 million, but we had to pay 75 because it was because of our naughtiness. So we had to pay a bit extra on top. But it didn't really matter at the end of the day because the man's worth like 200 million now to spend. You know what I mean? So it's all done well. He's got a good point. We got the likes of the young boys there. Curtis Jones, who I think is a superb talent. You got Harvey Elliott, who again is a superb talent. If we do change the way we play next season, more to a 4-2-3-1, you can then ask Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott to show more what they've got in attacking areas without having to worry about more of the running back and defending side of the game. And you can get them up close to the goal scorers, up close by the box. Because at the end of the day, Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones want to play their football in the final third. They want to play 1-2s, give and goes, link around the box. That's what they want to do. You don't want Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott on the halfway line, just inside our half, chasing players back. That's not their game. Their game is to express themselves and to excite the fans. That's what they want to do. A bit like Foden does at City. Although Foden works really hard, Foden's starting position is always in the final third of opposition half. So do you agree with Ricky on that point then?
I still think we're signing someone, but I don't think it's going to be someone who's going to cost a lot of money, because I think if you look at, we're going to be selling Mane. If we get 40 million for him, then we're looking about selling Taki for 17 million. You've got Nat Phillips and Nico Williams again, possibly could generate another 10 million each. So that's sort of recuperating the money that we're going to be spending on Darwin Nunez. But I do agree. I think obviously Curtis Jones, fantastic talent. Also Harvey Elliott, another fantastic talent. They both are going to need minutes, but I wouldn't be surprised if we go for someone just as a stopgap until next year, because I've said it already, Jamie, on the channel, I think during the week as well, that I wouldn't be surprised if we do sign Bellingham, but not this season, next season. I wouldn't be surprised if we do the same sort of deal that we did with Naby Keita, where we'll buy him this season.
I mentioned that.
Next season. I do see that happening. I agree with the lads as well. We do need someone like a Jude Bellingham who can carry the ball, who can create chances, because we haven't got many players like that. But I just see with the money that we're going to be generating from the sales, I see someone that we're going to get someone who's maybe around the 20 million euros mark, which is sort of the Fabio Vieira sort of style player for the time being, and then go out for Jude Bellingham, whether it be this summer, ready for next summer, because Dortmund only sell one superstar each year, so why not get that deal in place now? Sign obviously Bellingham ready for next season. For me, I think that's what I'd be looking at personally. But I agree with what Ricky said. If not, I wouldn't be disheartened, because we've still got the likes of Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, etc., who can still make a difference when needed off the bench as well.
No, I agree, my friend. Tom, is he?
Yeah, I do get the opinions from the lads. I think for me, whether we get a midfield or not, I think Jurgen and the backroom staff knows the plan. So because Tchouaméni was the first choice, so obviously now he's heading to Madrid. So they always have this contingency plan, like always other top clubs have. So they would, I think, in my opinion, we've said about changing formations, 4-2-3-1, and you know, tweaking around, you know, as the game goes. Whether we got a midfield or not, that's one question. I think we will, as Steve said, and we always believe in the likes of Curtis and Harvey to deliver because they're still young. We whether they will perform in the upcoming season, you never know, but we still have good faith in them. They're still in a good age where we can still, you know, as some fans agree that they have the chance to perform, to give that another opportunity before probably Jude Bellingham comes in next, you know, the season after. That's how I see it.
No, agree with that. Agree. Edward, I know you had a thing on this.
Yeah, I agree with what the guys are saying. Would I be happy if we don't sign midfielder this summer, on the condition that we do as been suggested? If we, for example, we say we will pay for Jude now but get him next in 2023, I'd settle for that, given the options we have in the squad at the moment. But I would still believe we do need another body there, especially if we move Ox on. And also we have to consider, even though they didn't get as injured as in last season as done in the past seasons, like Hendo, Thiago, Fab, they do get injured a bit during the season. So in an ideal world, we would get another body in just to reinforce that aspect of having cover for those players in case injuries do occur more for those. So whilst I wouldn't be unhappy if we don't get another midfielder in, on the proviso we get Bellingham. Sorry.
What was that? I saw Edward was like, get out.
Sorry for that. Yeah. On the proviso that yeah, on the proviso we do sign someone like Bellingham for 2023, then I'll be happy. Also, it depends if we're changing formation. So, if we're box to box coming in this summer, if we're changing for a 4-2-3-1, is what we need. But if we're keeping to a 4-3-3, then someone like a Vieira, someone who's a ball carrier, would be my preferred midfield option. So it depends on how we're changing formations if we're not, or sticking to a 4-3-3. So that's how I would proceed.
Makes sense. I think if you look here, like we have like 7 or 8 central midfielders at this moment in time. If we are going to bring one in, one has to go. And who is that? Who goes is the problem. Look, we know James. We're going to get on to my next question in a minute when we finish this bit, but we know James Milner signed on for another year. Hendo's still there. Ox is probably going to go, so that might free up the space. I think we might get a midfielder, but it's going to be like at 20, 30 million kind of price. That maybe as well that no one's talking about. A name no one's mentioned or anything like that. We might just get in someone like that. But it's going to be around the 20, 30 million price. I think Liverpool want Bellingham full stop. But there's no way you're doing two 100 million euro deals in one summer. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. Not many teams do that full stop, let alone Liverpool. They're not going to do that. So, what do you reckon, Connor?
I'd love us to sign. I'd love us to just go out and spend another 100 million on Jude Bellingham this summer, but sadly, it's very unrealistic. I think we will sign a Bellingham this summer, and I think it will be his brother from Birmingham. But in terms of an actual midfielder, I just don't see it. I agree with the other lads where I don't think we would go out and spend, an extra, 20, 30 million pounds for just a player for a season, just to fill that gap. I think obviously Jude Bellingham is the guy that we all know that Liverpool want. And I think, look, it will be the case of, can we get that pre-agreed deal there? And I think we will. I think we will get that done and dusted. And then I think next year, then obviously James Milner contract will be done. You'll then look at, Thiago then is potentially 2 years left on his deal. Then you look at the next phase then of the Liverpool midfield. We're already talking about, the next phase of Liverpool's attack in terms of, Sadio Mane and Darwin Nunez. I think next season you see potentially, where we go next with the midfield. It does depend as well whether or not we stay with the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1. I think personally we'll stay with the 4-3-3 under Klopp, especially if Salah moves on, then yeah, I do see it potentially changing. But whenever we've seen the 4-2-3-1 under Klopp while Salah's been here, he's always played at striker, never played on that right side. Whether or not that's Jarrod Bowen comes in or someone else comes in that we don't know about, that'll be interesting. But I think midfield-wise, I don't think anyone comes in personally. I think everything will be put on Jude Bellingham for next season.
That's a good point, Savage. So if you, like we did with Van Dijk was the player we wanted, so we waited.
Yep.
And rightly so as well, because we could, if we got someone, you might not have got a Van Dijk. So he did the right thing. Midfield. Now we know the fan base is so split on our midfield. I personally think we have good midfielders. The problem is, some of them are they're getting injury and they're out for weeks, and it's annoying. But they're actually quality footballers. Should we wait for a Jude? Should we not buy anyone this summer because Jude's our priority? Do like what we did with Van Dijk?
I don't know. The thing is, I get the split fan base on my midfield, but to me, it's a little bit strange, considering our midfield ain't done that bad at all, have they? You know what I mean? It was
Good point.
Wasn't. You know what I mean? Two trophies, not too. I know everyone's gonna say, yeah, but we didn't get the over 2 trophies. I know, but context is there. We all saw what happened. We saw the 1 point. We saw, you know what I mean, and we saw what happened in the Champions League. I agree a little bit with what Saint said with Tielemans, because that's the guy that I said before. I mean, that I wanted Maddison ages ago.
Yeah.
But they're gonna hike his price up, English tax and all that.
Yeah, massively.
Tielemans, there's this thing. Obviously, I get it because you get me. He's got the chipmunk cheeks and that, brother, and he looks like he's knackered all the time. But in effect, man, if you watch him play, he's everywhere on the pitch, and his running stats are pretty high up in the Prem with the elite players. So it's kind of like a perception of what he gives off because of how he looks. He can shoot from outside the box. He can pass. He won't be a stopgap for Bellingham because he will be used in the squad as a squad player. If Ox is going to go, Ox is going to go. There's going to be a replacement there. There's no point just getting a random number in, just a random guy in just because he makes up the numbers. Because when it comes around to the League Cups and FA Cups and stuff, and we want to give everyone else a rest, Tielemans ain't bad, is he? Like he's been in Leicester's first team in all their cup competitions and hasn't done too bad. The Jude thing, I don't know, man. Listen, I know we've been in contact with Jude. I know that for a fact already. We're not the only club, but we've been in contact with him. So, and we know that he likes our club, innit? So, it's what FSG do. Obviously, in an ideal world, if there was no case on Basuma, he'd be the guy to go and get, and he wouldn't be a stopgap either because by the time we get to next season, all the midfielders that we've got now are another year in. You know what I mean? And it'll be like 2 years since the previous season we've just had. And that's the main thing. It isn't about their quality. It's just that the legs will fade out eventually. Because like Fabinho's he's not even fast. You know what I mean? Sometimes I watch people just jog past him and stuff like that. So as much as we love him and think he's world class, which he is, he still has
quick, yeah.
He still has things that he can't do, and that's one of them. So I do agree with what was said with Ricky about I wouldn't get a stopgap in. I'd put all Megs in the Jude basket, but I think getting another midfielder in around the £30 million mark or under isn't a stopgap. It's just enhancing the squad. If Milner's had an extension, then was it 1 year he's been offered or
1
something
year.
like that? So when does his contract run out? 2024?
No, just next June.
Next June. Yeah, exactly. So that person who we get in helped this season, and next season they'll be in the squad. And obviously, Hendo used to get them niggly injuries, and they just randomly come on. You know what I mean? Then he'll be missing.
Yeah.
I don't think we want to use Milner unless it's needed. It's been great when he's come on this season, but you don't want to ever use him from the start. Put him on to see a game out, or when it's in them cup games, the League Cup and the FA Cup. That's the kind of experience you want in the squad with the rest of the young guns. I wouldn't play much of our first team in the other cups until he gets further on in the competition, because I'm still with the fact that I want to go for all the trophies. I know everyone likes to put that quad thing on us, but like I said, that talk didn't start until we had already won the League Cup and got to the semi-final of the FA. We didn't start the season running our mouth. So for all them other rival fans, why wouldn't we want to go for every trophy? You know what I mean? You can't have this thing where we knock off the other two and just go for the Champions League and the Prem, because if it doesn't happen, we finish the season with nothing and a bad season. So, yeah, man, I think obviously Klopp and that, they know if they were already going to go for Tuchel and to speak to him and stuff like that, then obviously they already know what the crack is. I would do what Statman said, and I would pay the money for Jude now and leave him at Dortmund for another season. Sure, they'll be happy with that. We'll be happy with it because we've got something to look forward to. And we'll be able to see how he's going to fit in when the rest of our season goes, but definitely give the youth a chance. Because they're not bad, man. We've got some good young players, man, and you have to give them a chance sooner or later. Otherwise, they ain't good enough to play for Liverpool if that's the case. So, I'm here for it, man. But definitely sign someone just because injuries happen, innit? We've got quite lucky this season. Our injuries weren't that bad. But we saw what happened the season before when injuries were terrible. So, I'd do that, man.
Before I get, let me just read this super chat from Ash. Big up, Ash, as always. My Jude theory is it's Gabby Diaz put 2.0 transfer. Gundogan and Bernardo leave City. They try and force Jude deal, and we swoop in because he prefers us. That'd be beautiful. If we get him in front of Man City, the saltiness from them fans would be amazing. You know, and all of a sudden, you know what it was? Oh, Bellingham's not that good anyway. That's what it'd be straight away.
Yeah, Man City are a sneaky one, isn't it? Because they can just drop a bag on him early.
I only see two clubs going for him. That is Man City and Liverpool. And that is my only worry. Especially, did you see? I
wouldn't rule out Man U though. I know that you said you don't want to play for them, but listen, football's football, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
they need somebody.
It depends if they're in the Premier League next season, though, doesn't it? All depends, doesn't it? Rod's midfielder. I mean, the Tielemans one that Saint came up with. And, Savage just said there. He's only 25 million. He's valued at 25 million. So, would you get someone like a Tielemans in maybe, just to bolster that area? Oh, Rod's is gone.
Yeah, that could be a shout, you know. Could be a shout, but I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Just lagging.
Ross Clark.
You're just lagging.
See. You know what I mean? Yo, that's some girl business, dog. Well, a lot of settings in a dog. No, but I'm more of a Maddison fan. I'm more of a Maddison fan still. I like Maddison still, you know what I mean? Tielemans a good shout. Good shout. Tielemans a good shout. But I'm more of a Maddison fan. But Maddison's going to be like that English tax, and you can spend about 60 million quid, you know what I mean? So you might as well take that money and put it on Bellingham, really, to be honest. I do think we need a midfielder in the day that can play further forward, do you know what I mean? Because I do think some of our midfielders play the same. Do you understand what I'm saying? And do like the same job. We haven't got that midfield that's going to play further forward. So we could invest in something like that, like a midfielder that will play further forward. And obviously with Bellingham comes in and everything, that they're going to sort of like, you know, they're going to gel. Do you know what I mean? But like, I do agree at the day. So like, yes, buy Bellingham now and make him coming for next season. Do you know what I mean? Get that secure. You know what I mean? So if any vultures come in and everything that, we could just see them off. You understand what I'm saying? You know what it's like and everything that, right? Soon as Liverpool's interested in the player, you get the vultures swooping in. You know what I mean? Yeah, we want to buy him and this and that. Do you know what I mean? So I say, you know, get Bellingham done and just buy somebody that's going to play further forward. Because you already got the midfielders at the day that can, obviously do the job at the day in the playmaking and the holding and then the defensive part of the game. Do you know what I mean? I think we're just lacking that sort of like, because, all right, you've got Oxlade Chamberlain that can play further forward, that can, shoot from distance. But we don't obviously sort of like, we don't play him really. And he's going to go. Do you know what I mean? So could there be a shout for Rafinha? Do that swap deal for Rafinha, bringing Rafinha in. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously you got like Jude Bellingham coming in next season. So there's options out there. Do you know what I mean? There's options out there. We just got to sort of like find it. You know what I mean?
And when you say Maddison, I've always said this. I think Maddison is better than Jack Grealish. I think Maddison is better than Jack Grealish. I've always said it. I think Maddison has more. I think Maddison has I think Maddison has more to say than Jack Grealish does. But Jack Grealish is just a Gucci advert, ain't it? Let's be fair. And I think Maddison's the better footballer. I mean, look what he's doing for Leicester. 13 goals, 11 assists or something. I mean, he's a very, very good footballer. But if you're going to Leicester and go, right, we want Maddison. Liverpool football club go, Julian Ward turns up at Leicester. We want to thank for Maddison. We really like him. We want to make a club. Yeah, that'd be 120 million. Leicester are impossible to deal with.
Contract runs out in 2024, isn't it?
Yeah, just wait for his contract to get closer and go for him then. If you want.
He'll likely be the one to go to Man U. I love him, I do, man, but he'll end up. Yeah, I mean, he's a Beckham guy, isn't he?
Before we carry on, guys, there's 130 of you in here right now. Please go and hit the like button. Smash the like button, guys. Subscribe so far.
But you know what Pablo said about Bellingham's family being Liverpool fans? They are Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
The majority. I mean, I know his dad is.
Yeah, because you know him, don't you?
No, yeah, I know
Jude
and the brothers. Yeah.
Come from your way.
Neck of the woods, man.
Yes. So I'm going to ask this question now because we've got 2 more likes so we hit 100, guys. 2 more, one more like. Someone hit 1 more like. We got.
I know what question's coming.
All right, it comes up. It's not that question yet. It's another.
Question. Okay, thank God for that.
Another question. So, Michael Edwards, Liverpool football director, chief scout, whatever you want to call him. He was tremendous at his job. Absolutely tremendous at his job. And Julian Ward's taken over. Everyone was a bit worried. Julian Ward looks like he's done the Diaz deal and the Nunez and the Darwin Nunez, Luis Diaz, Darwin Nunez. That's what I'd say actually. Deal already as his first 2 buys. Spent a bit of money as well, by the way. I've heard a lot of people talk about this. Have we always had money? And was Michael Edwards the one who didn't want to spend it? And is Julian Ward going to be a bit more loose with the old Reddies than Michael Edwards is, Ricky?
No. Listen, Liverpool have got cash. I'll get bantered so much on social media. Liverpool a broke club. You got no money. You this, you that. Liverpool have cash. We do not waste it. We're very smart in how we buy players. We're not Man United. We don't just go to someone. Here's 100 mil. We give you 500 grand a week. We're not stupid like that. Liverpool see what the team was doing and how well we were playing. The front 3 was unbelievable for 5 years. Salah, Mane, Firmino. There's not a lot of players out there that could have improved us at that time in them 3 up front. That was, at the time, Liverpool weren't appealing when we were trying to get top 4 with them. And then obviously we got the top 4, we got the Champions League. We've been in the Champions League for years now. We've been to 3 finals. We've won the Premier League. We finished 2nd behind City. We've won the FA Cup. We've won the League Cup. Won the Club World Cup. The Super. Liverpool have cash. But Liverpool are very specific on who they buy. They see a player like you don't see Liverpool in the news. Liverpool are interested in this player. They're going to make a bid for it. No, Liverpool do their homework. They find out if the player is interested, and then that's when they make their move. There's no point. What's the point wasting your time going for a player that ain't going to come to you? It's just stupid.
Yeah.
And we've milked the front three and the midfield for years. Klopp got the best out of them. It's now Klopp 2.0. Klopp's doing this rebuild. Darwin Nunez and Cavalier are the start of it. But we have money. I mean, you can't be in all them Champions League finals all the way to run up the money you get in them games. You get 2 million for winning a game in the group stage. And we were the first English team to win all the group games and take maximum money out of that group. So Liverpool are not going to be outbid by anyone if they really want to play. That Jude Bellingham deal will come down to Liverpool are smart because they make the interest known and then the player then goes, I want to go to Liverpool, which stops a bidding war.
Yeah.
Liverpool don't do bidding wars because a 50 million. Look at Tuchimi. We bid 50 to 60 million euro for him. Real Madrid decided to miss out on Mbappe because he signed the director of PSG role. Gets to make the decisions, but Real Madrid were never going to lose out on two of their top targets in one summer. So they went and splashed an extra 50 million on top of what Liverpool bid, and they offered him more wages. Listen, it's hard to turn down Real Madrid. But next season, Liverpool have money, man. I mean, if Liverpool want to go splash 150 million on Jude Bellingham next summer, they will. But we do tend to like to do deals where we're paying installments, which ain't a bad thing. Because why would you want to go splash 80 million up front on a player when you could go get two players, but then spread it over to like different installments? It makes sense. Like look at the Thiago deal. We're paying 5 million a season for his whole contract.
Yeah.
Bellingham comes to Liverpool. There's no doubt about it. We get Jude Bellingham. Henderson's groomed him in that England squad for the last couple of years. You see him giving him his... Harry Kane was supposed to give Jude Bellingham his England cap. He never did it, did he? It was Henderson that did it. Yep. His idol, Steven Gerrard, he's a Liverpool fan. His family are Liverpool fans. There's only one way Jude Bellingham goes somewhere else, and that's purely for money and not ambition. If he's got ambition to play for the best coach in world football and want to win trophies, he'll come to Liverpool, pure and simple. But we'll see. I'm hoping we get him this summer. I mean, Michael Edwards done an amazing job. I mean, he got 20 million for Solanke. He got...
It's ridiculous.
We sold Adam Smith for 15 million. I mean, I can't even tell you Adam Smith was at left back. I mean, did he even make a first team appearance?
The man's going.
Yeah, I'll just hope his last swan song this summer is Jude Bellingham, and that's it. Done. Yeah. Splashed 100 million. Here's my parting gift to all you Liverpool fans. You've been excellent to me over the years. You've trusted me with what we were doing. Here's Jude Bellingham in your midfield.
Yeah, great. I mean, and by the way, guys, this is not me saying all. I'm just putting a question out there. I love Michael Edwards to bits, and he's goated. Steve, do you think rival fans are actually jealous of our recruitment strategy?
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, as you can see, on my Twitter, I regularly have arguments with a certain someone who I'll not mention on a daily basis because yeah,
I'll mention it. I don't give a shit. He's a knob.
Yeah,
Patrick the Steve.
Yeah,
he's a weird one.
Yeah, he's just we live rent free in their heads, basically, don't we? They're just jealous of the way that we go about our business. They really are. I mean, I'll just echo some of Ricky's comments as well. I think yes, we definitely have money, but we don't go out and spend stupid amounts of money. We wanted Van Dijk. We had to retract and say we didn't want him, but then got him the obviously in the winter transfer window. So we scout players for at least 2, if not 3 seasons. We do our homework. We do a background work as well. Say we're interested in you. Do you want to come? And if they show interest, then that's when we go in. But we're a bit like silent assassins, aren't we? I mean, if you look at the Fabinho deal that came out of the blue, so we try and keep our business out of everyone's ears and everything. And we try and go about our business quite silently, which is a good thing. No one knew about the Diaz deal. No English media was reporting it. It was all just Portuguese media, etc. So I think the way we go about our business, we definitely have got money. We just don't go and waste it, like Ricky said, on silly players at Manchester United. Go in for offer them silly money. We know how to run the club. And like I say again, Michael Edwards, fantastic job selling some of the players, like Ricky said, Adam Smith, Jordan Ibe, etc. for crazy amounts of money as well. So credit where credit's due. But we've always had the money. we just don't go wasting it willy-nilly, really. We obviously, we're more strategic, and we'll try and keep it out of the news and just go around silently and put the feelers out there. And obviously, if they're interested, that's when we obviously go about and get the business done quickly and just get it sorted as soon as we can.
Yeah, Tom, is the same to you. Do you think without the way we are set up, we have got money, FSG have got money, but at the same time, they're looking after their finances. They're looking after their finances because they can't do what City do. City can go and buy Jack Grealish for 100 million, scores 2 goals and 2 assists in one season. Doesn't matter. They go and spend over 200 million on Haaland the following season. No one can really compete with that financially, really. So what Liverpool have to do, they have to do it in a different kind of way. And if you look at the recruitment process at our club, is there anyone that actually does it better?
We actually operate in a way that I said this yesterday in Coppish Colin, yeah. Shout out to them. The transfer saga these days are down to the merit of football sporting directors. So I mentioned like even Paratici in Spurs. I think he's the one who pulled Kulusevski and Bentancur because he was in Juventus, wasn't it? So sporting directors for us in Julian Ward is because of his astute management and the strategic recruitment. I look at the different profiles of other sporting directors due to their network is great, as I mentioned. Paratici, Campos, and even Ralf Rangnick to the extent because they know players. They see players that with the huge potential, and then they have a good relationship with agents. But for us, it's how we, as Steve said, the silent assassin. It's just that how we operate is way different to other clubs. You look at PSG recently. I think they appointed Campos, wasn't it? So I think the importance of sporting director, not the commercial, but sporting director specifically is huge right now. So we got one which I think it's in a good hand in the future. Splashing money or not, we've seen already with Van Dijk and Alisson. It's just that whether time will tell whether Nunez will deliver. But yeah, man, I'm just excited, and I have faith in the recruitment. I have faith in Jurgen on and off the pitch. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Backhammer says here, arguably Dortmund have the better recruitment. I think in the case of Dortmund, they have to do it that way just to compete. I mean, this is why I never want fan-owned clubs, by the way, either, because Borussia Dortmund can never overthrow Bayern Munich. It's just never happening because Bayern Munich are so strong and powerful, and because they're all fan-owned clubs. You know, they're never going to get like an oil tycoon and take over Dortmund and compete. It's just never going to happen. That's one reason I never want a fan-owned club, because the ones that are big at the time are never going to be caught, and everyone else is always going to be behind. That's one of the problems. But yeah, Dortmund do it well because they have to. They've got no choice, otherwise they're going to be left behind. But their recruitment is great, Ash, no doubt. And like Black Hammer said as well, and Ash been saying with the Red Bull teams, yeah, Brighton have fantastic recruitment. But like Edward, it's about sporting directors now. This is the thing. You have the manager the manager is not the manager anymore like it used to be when we were kids watching football. They're now coaches. They coach the club, and you have loads of different people doing different jobs around. So the main guy in charge can just concentrate on the playing staff. Now, you look at Man United, they had one in Woodward, whatever you want to think about him. He's crap at buying players, but he was tremendous at doing commercial. I mean, that man, for what he does for commercial revenue, is fantastic. He's fantastic at that. You can't really beat it for that. But the players he likes and keeps around, and the managers he likes, are atrocious, and that's why Liverpool have taken over United now. So in that case, do you like the way we recruit, Edward? would you like maybe to see a bit more spending, or you can understand the way we spend because of the financial means and things like that?
I like our model. I like the way how we run and how we're self-sustained. I would say when Jurgen says he has the first and last say on transfers, I back him on that. But I think that's true. And when the argument goes, why we don't spend more money, why doesn't Michael Edwards or whoever get in more deals? It's because Jurgen doesn't want those players. He doesn't want those. So when Michael Edwards and recruitment team goes up to him and saying, these are the players here, are you interested in signing them for these positions? If Jurgen says no, then it'll be no. So you can't go back to Michael Edwards and saying, why aren't we spending money on these players? An example of this is after 2019, we didn't sign anyone except Adrian. You can't go say that was Michael Edwards' fault because that's Jurgen. Jurgen has a first and last say. And when he says that, there's no reason to say that isn't true because he works. If he's there and he signed a new contract, so we've got to take him up on his word that he's happy with how Liverpool is run, how FSG are running the club, how the recruitment team are working within those means, and we spend money as within that parameters of money what we earn through the commercial side, which we've improved on largely through Billy Hogan and that team, and obviously through Michael Edwards from revenues generated from transfers like Tino, for example. So, I'm very happy with how the club is run and that recruitment side of things.
Before I get the Savages, Raging Pot, big up to you, your super chat. Much love, my friend. Nunez will mug that pretty shitty City defence next season. Gosh. I'd like to see him have the number 97 shirt. Big up, James Football Chat. Speak yourself, Raging Pot. Thank you very much. Yes. Diaz is going to be a nightmare for people next season. There's no doubt. And Nunez and Diaz, should I say. Nunez and Diaz will be a nightmare for people next season. So, Savage, your opinion on that, my friend?
Yeah, a lot of echoing what everyone said, to be honest. I'll be 100% honest, man. I don't really delve into that part of Liverpool too often. Like, I know who everyone is, I know what they do and stuff like that, but I'm not into the nitty details of it. But for how the club's run, I love it. I do. I think it feels like how a football club should be run. I think some fans get derailed because they see the likes of what City and stuff do, but you have to look into the reason why they're able to do it. It makes it more interesting. It shows how good our scouting staff is. And with what Edward said with Klopp having the say so on it, I think I left a message on your chat earlier, Jamie, when I think it's like some people want Klopp to have a whole personality transplant and want him to be a different person. This guy's been like this his whole football career, and if he doesn't want you, he doesn't want you. There's plenty of articles and quotes before of Klopp not wanting to spend big money. Obviously, inflation changes that, so it's going to look like you've gone back on your word. But the money's different now to when he was saying it before, because I think they brought up that when he brought Van Dijk. But obviously, the asking price is the asking price, and he wants who he wants. And looking at the people that he's turned down or said he didn't want, and then look where they've gone on to and how they've played, he's been right. There's no player that I've seen we wanted, Klopp turned them away, and all of a sudden the Ballon d'Or winner and stuff like that. He's been right most of the time, because he takes them on personality, the way they are as a person, and obviously the football as well. And it's the cohesiveness of the club. You can't just get in certain people just for the sake of it. I like our model. Just off from a business standpoint, it makes sense what we do. Like Ricky said, we have money. You know what I mean? I think just off just on the football pitch, we made like 120 million this year just off prize money, with the Champions League Cup, FA Cup, and the Prem. So there's money to spend. So I don't mind that. So when we go and spend big money on people, that's what we've earned. Spend the money. It's not like people want FSG to take money out of their own pocket and all this business. I said it 100 times. Like, these guys ain't football fans, you know what I mean? Of course, they're fans of Liverpool through business first, not through the love of football. So people keep saying, I want FSG to show us a bit of love, and that. It don't really work like that. And business doesn't work like that either. If you can spend money out of the money you've earned and not tap into your own pocket and have profit, that's business. Most people don't go into football clubs and buy them to make a profit. FSG found a way how to do that. They're meticulous with it. The reason why we have Jurgen Klopp is down to their meticulous. They didn't just pick him because he was a Dortmund manager and he done well there. It was how he is as a person. How does this guy want to spend a lot of money? He doesn't want to spend a lot of money. He does this, he does that. That's perfect for us. He fits our model perfect. And he signed a new contract, which means obviously they've given him assurances on certain things. I've said to before, I think sometimes with FSG, the issue might lie from the outside for us looking in because we don't know the details. Is sometimes it feels like we're waiting too long to do something, but business is business. So that season when we had all these injured players and stuff like that, we could have whipped in and got all these different players and stuff. But looking at it now, we had to deal with that season. We got top 4 in the end by the recruitment, what we already had, Klopp and the talent and the players. And then we move on to the next season, and then we finish second. We win 2 trophies. We nearly win the Champions League. So I got nothing but trust in them. But that's the reason why I never do that FSG in and out business. For me, that doesn't exist. It's a bit childish, to be honest. Like, if Klopp has the say so on what he does, then why am I screaming FSG out for? It's kind of pointless. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they run it perfect, man. But Klopp knows what he wants, and he's just that kind of man. You've heard there's interviews with him saying these things. I speak to these players when they come in, nothing to do with football. I already know how you play. I want to find out you as a person and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, I love it. I do. I love it. Listen, a bar transfer deadline, and I think this is just the child in me, but bar transfer deadline day, when I know that there's always a geezer standing outside the cold in Anfield and the lights are off and that, and I know we're not signing anyone. Yeah, that's a little bit disappointing, but it's only because I want to be excited about someone. But when I look at the actual team, I'm fine with it. It's just that most seasons, that geezer. Yeah, we've got no news to report. Jurgen Klopp's gone home. Yeah, bro, we're not signing anyone to go home. But apart from that, yeah, I mean, I wanted to see him white with the gold tie on, a little sweet one, and that with the gold dress on, and that say something. Apart from that, I'm all right, man. I love our club, bro. I love it. Man. Other rival fans don't bother me with the stuff they talk. There's a reason why Man City fans get so touchy when you say certain things. It's when you asked about them being jealous. I think they're all jealous for different reasons. Man U's not jealous of the history of our club because they've got a big history as well. But they're jealous of the fact that they keep spending big money. Not their players don't do anything, and then they have to wait to spend more. Yeah, right. And with Man City, they can buy who they want. But because the asterisk is always going to be there, it hurts them so bad. It hurts them so bad. They're like, it doesn't matter where the money's come from. It does. But all right, it's up to you, innit? It's your team. If you don't care, you wouldn't be bothered. So it is what it is, man. The Nunez picture at the airport, bro. You sure that's not some random security guard with a man bun, bro?
It's not that.
I've seen that with Van Dijk, man. They were taking pictures of shadows and that before Van Dijk. And well, that's not Van Dijk, bro.
There's a 6'6" shadow. That's Van Dijk.
Stop it.
So, Rod's my man. So, on the same question that everyone else has answered, my man.
I mean, we've moaned in the past about FSG and such forth and that. But when you actually look at it, when you look back at it, they actually done it right. They have done it right. Because if you look at Man United, they bought Bruno Fernandes. They bought Bruno Fernandes in. They brought him in. They spent about 60 million on him. They brought Jude Bellingham in, and
they definitely didn't bring Jude.
It's like on that 350 grand a week and everything like that. And it hasn't really worked. He hasn't really worked out. What is that? What you said?
Sancho.
Yeah, Sancho. There's Sancho. They bought for 350. Bought him in, and it's like 350 grand a week and everything like that. And all that at the end of the day, they bought Ronaldo in, and they think that, and he's on like $250,000 a week or something, or $500,000 a week, some shit like that. Do you know what I mean? And it still hasn't worked out. Do you know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, if that would have happened to Liverpool, the effects would have been worse. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when they've actually taken their time and said, look, you know what, in day, we can't go out and spend money like these guys and everything that. So when we go and buy a player now, this player at the day is going to have to do something. Do you know what I mean? So that's why one of the reasons why they waited for Virgil van Dijk till that time there. Do you know what I mean? And look at Virgil van Dijk now and I think now Virgil van Dijk is the best defender in the world. I don't care anybody says, he is the best defender in the world. All round best defender, I think now. Do you know what I mean? And you've gone out, you bought Mo Salah for 35 million. Do you know what I mean? From Roma and I think now. Prolific. Do you know what I mean? He's been prolific since he's come to the club. You bought Sadio Mane from Southampton for 26 million. I think that. And look what he's done. And I think that. Every player that we bought, and I think that. Put it this way, every player that we bought under the Klopp regime, and I think that. There hasn't been many flops. There's been more so like people that's gone on done greatness than what there has been flops and I think that. So they've been kind of like, what they've done, they've been kind of sensible with their money. Do you know what I mean? They haven't thrown money at this person, thrown money at that person and think that. Do you know what I'm saying? They've been very sensible and done it the right way. And I think really and truly, a lot of clubs at the day can take a sort of like, can look at our model of what we've done and everything that, and they will be better off. Do you know what I mean? You know, when you look at what, you think about it, man spent 100 million on Jack Grealish and everything that. Does anybody ever think at the day he's worth 100 million? Come on now. There's no way Jack Grealish is worth 100 million. I will pay him 35 at most. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, so like FSG and Liverpool and everything that, they've done everything properly. Do you know what I mean? And we're seeing the fruits of our labour now. Do you know what I mean? We're kicking on. We're doing bits and everything that. We're in finals and everything that. We're winning FA Cups. We're winning League Cups. We're winning the league and everything that. We're the most talked about team in the world. You understand what I'm saying? But Man City can only be talked about because they puff off their chest when they got all that money. You didn't know before. Who were they playing? What, Darlington United and shit like that? Do you know what I mean? Chelsea at the day, before 2003 and everything that, right? Chelsea weren't nothing. When they got all that money in there, they start puffing their blood clot chest and say, yeah, man, you know what? We are big Dan now. You're not no big Dan now. Come on now. You understand what I'm saying? Liverpool at the day, their module at the day, from even Shanky days and everything that, right, has been in the day, only spend what you need to spend. Don't overspend on things and everything that. And you have to commend Liverpool for that. You have to commend them for that. And I think they're going the right way. Do you know what I mean? I've had a moans in the past about, you know, FSG because, you know, sometimes as a fan, you want to see greatness now. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I've had that moment for that. But when I look back at it and everything that, they've done everything the right way and everything that. And I agree with Savage and everything that, right? Sometimes we get caught up in certain things and everything that. But really, when you look at FSG and you look at the way they've done things and for that, you have to say it, and they've done it the right way and for that, because we're better for it now. Do you know what I mean? 2022, we're better for it now. We can go out and buy any player we want. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I think. I think they've done well. Do you know what I mean? Done really well.
No, I agree. I agree with everything you said, guys. So this brings me to the last question that Savage is going to hate. So this question might actually split the panel. This question might actually split the panel. I don't know. I don't believe in this, by the way, before I ask it. It's a question I've seen going round a lot on Liverpool YouTube channels. I saw it yesterday in a phone call. Someone called in on Coppish and asked about it. So, Jurgen Klopp, is he too sentimental? And I'll say this, and people have been saying this as well. I think Jamrock, I mean, he's all over Liverpool channels. He says about this all the time. Well, a lot of people say about this, that Jurgen Klopp could be too sentimental in his ways sometimes, or too stubborn in his ways. You look at James Milner, 37 years old. He's been given a new one-year contract. That was at the request of Jurgen Klopp. You know, Jurgen Klopp wanted that contract. A lot of Liverpool fans are a bit annoyed by it because they're like, you know, why is James Milner still at a club at 37 years of age? He's taking up a midfield space. You know, we need to move on. Bobby Firmino. A lot of Liverpool fans do not like Bobby Firmino for one reason or another. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Bobby Firmino splits the fan base. So does Diogo Jota, by the way. I don't get it. Yeah, Bobby Firmino might not be the player he was at 27, 28. You know, but I'm not the man I was when I was 32. Do you know what I mean? You know, shit happens. And, you know, but Bobby Firmino is still an important part of our football club. Do you know what I mean? And when I see Bobby play, I always say to this day, Salah and Mane, when they play, they're not as good unless Bobby Firmino's in the number 9 position. I always say it. Bobby Firmino is the best player we got that hides their weaknesses but highlights their strengths. I've always said it. That's why I don't think they look so good when Jota plays at number 9 position. So people want Bobby gone now. People want Bobby gone. Don't let him use a year. Let him go now. Get the wages off so we can go and buy another forward like Nkunku or something like that to replace Bobby. This question I see quite a lot in the last week or so, especially since Milner signed his new contract. So I'll go around the thing. I'll go around the group starting with Ricky. Honest opinions, guys. For me, I don't think he is. I will say one thing before I get everyone's opinion on it. For me, I think Jurgen Klopp, like everyone says, you know, Pep's is cutthroat. Look at Sane, it didn't work out for him. He went and got someone. He got rid of him, got someone else. That's because he can afford to be. Jurgen Klopp can't afford to be ruthless. It's as simple as that. If Jurgen Klopp had oil money behind him, I bet Klopp will be as ruthless as you've ever seen. I do think he can't be ruthless in a way because he has got the financial means of a Pep Guardiola at Man City. I'll just put that out there first. But Ricky, over to you first, my man.
I think it's laughable when they call Klopp sentimental. I mean, the geezer got rid of Sacco. I mean, where's Lallana? If sentimental would still be at the club, picking up a wage injured.
Sacco almost got at the
Dejan Lovren.
Tell him, Rick. Tell him.
Emre Can. Benteke. I'm sure we give Benteke more hugs than anyone. There's so many players Klopp has absolutely booted through that door. Gini Wijnaldum. I mean, everyone said he was Klopp's child. Klopp let him go for free. We didn't bow down to his demands, did we?
No.
James Milner is off this planet. I mean, the geezer is a true professional that you don't get much in the game no more. He's took a massive wage reduction to stay for the extra year. He's going to be doing his coaching badges under Jurgen Klopp learning. Who better to have in your changing room than people like Jordan Henderson and Milner for the likes of Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, Carvalho coming in. So I'd love to know who, bar James Milner, Klopp's been sentimental to because everyone else has been booted out of the club. Daniel Sturridge. Everyone loved Daniel Sturridge. For me, he's probably one of Liverpool's best ever players technically.
Yep.
Unreal finisher, left foot.
Yeah.
Couldn't stay fit. Klopp got rid. So you can't say he's sentimental because you could have kept him on these high wages sitting in the injury table. Naby Keita, he loves Naby Keita, but you tell me who you could go. We paid 50 mil for Naby Keita. So you've got to take a little bit of a risk by keeping him at the club because you ain't going to get half of that back. So that's not sentimental keeping him. That's financial reasons. So I'd love to know. I mean, like I said, Alberto Moreno, the geezer was, everyone loved Alberto Moreno as a person, like bubbly, but he was shit. And Klopp booted him straight out after that final. Yeah, Lucas. I mean, we could have kept Grandad Lucas there for a little while longer, but he
got rid of him.
Yeah, so so I can't tell you who's sentimental about bar James Milner. I mean, I think it's ridiculous. Liverpool fans have always something to moan about on Twitter.
Always. But the thing is, though, it's getting out there on other YouTube platforms and big platforms as well. And I don't get it. I think it's an age thing. I really do. I think all us guys who are at a certain age, we're all mature and adults. And we can see that that's not the case. But I think the 20-year-old kids and things like this these days, the generation of new fans, they just think, you know, as soon as you hit 37, you should be like in bed with your socks and don't get out. It's that sort of thing. I think so. I don't get it. James Milner, signing James Milner up for a year, I think makes perfect sense.
But it's not even a
on his wages. Yeah, came down way on his wages. He's a great person to have around. The youngsters will learn a lot from him. He's the most professional footballer out there, fit as a fiddle still. He can come on and play the odd game. James Milner's not stupid. He knows he'll go play every week. He's going to play a big part, but it's what he's keen to do behind the scenes as well. It's a great leader in the club. I don't get it.
Mignolet's another one we booted out because he was awful. Klopp's more ruthless than he is sentimental. Let's be honest. Klopp could. Yeah. Have you seen some of them still images that he gives like the fourth official on the touchline? You see when he runs down the tunnel. Yeah, when he runs down the tunnel at half time, you think he's going to go give people a hug in that change room. People talk about the Fergie hairdryer treatment, and my man Klopp throws people and suplexes people in that change room at half time.
Yeah, Klopp about football. He's a serial killer, man. I'm telling you, bro. Them looks he gives people, bro. When he stares at you at the beginning of a game, the other team, he just stands at the halfway line. That is Ed Bundy stuff, bro.
Everyone hates it, don't they? Because he stands there literally on the halfway line.
Just stares.
And if you heard Simon Jordan, because Simon Jordan talks about, I can't stand him, but he hates it. He thinks Klopp's out of order for doing it. But there's no rule anywhere that he can't do it. What's wrong with it? He stares them out because he's watching them do their thing and thinking, right, I've got a plan for them now. And no, Klopp's ruthless. Klopp is ruthless as he can be. I don't think he's sentimental. I just think he's an intelligent football person at the end of the day. Yep. And I think that goes missing. That goes missing in football. I think football is getting too... We've got to go back to what football is about. It's about 11 players on a pitch being tactically better than the other team and trying to outscore them. That is what football is about. We've got to get away from everything's about money all the time. It's becoming... It's almost ruining the game in some way. You look what Mbappe is doing at PSG. It shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah.
He should be able to run his own football club while still playing. It shouldn't be. It's not right. But it's what the kids want to see nowadays. This is the problem with football now. The new generation of kids, that's what they want to see. That's what they want to see. It's all about the money. It's all about the flicks and the tricks. Because James Milner don't go past someone, do a rainbow flick and put it in the top corner. Apparently he's shit. You know what I mean? This is what football's becoming. It annoys me, Steve.
Can I just say one more thing quickly?
Yeah,
the sentimental side of it, there's only 2 players left in this Liverpool squad before Klopp turned up, so you can't be sentimental.
No, exactly. I agree. Steve?
Yeah, I echo everything that Ricky said. I mean, you just have to look at Moreno as well. We forget about Alberto Moreno, Karius as well, who's going to be released, Origi.
Karius around to make him watch.
Yeah. So I agree. I think he is more ruthless than people give him credit for, and I don't get why people are saying he's sentimental. I think the reason why Milner's staying, he offers that reliability and experience. You hear the stories that after the FA Cup final, you've seen all these young players in the change rooms. Apparently, he gave them all a good bollock and just saying, "Get off your phones, enjoy the moment. We've just won the FA Cup. Savor this moment because you don't know how many you're going to win. You can't buy experience." And I think that's not sentimental. That's just he's using his man management to his skill as well. Because Milner, how many players can play in so many different positions? He can play right back. He can play centre midfield. He can play left back. If he asked him to play in goal, he'd play in goal. He's just an all-round. He's an all-round player for me, and I think you just look at the difference between him and Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum, it wasn't all about money. He wanted obviously a longer contract, which is fair enough, but he could have accepted maybe a 2-year contract and still been at the club. He wasn't. He was more greedy. Milner's taken a pay cut, as we've all said as well. So for me, I don't agree where there's sentiment. Saying that Klopp's sentimental, I do not agree with that. And like Ricky said, only 2 players there since Klopp has came in that are still there now. So yeah, I don't get this sentimental thing. I think it's a load of bollocks. In all fairness,
Milner hit that for me.
Yeah, like I say, other than Milner, you can't buy reliability and experience, and I think that's the only reason why Milner's there. He didn't. If Milner didn't accept the deal, which I don't think there would be any question. I think if you offered him any sort of contract, he'd just say, give us a pen, I'll sign it. It's Liverpool Football Club. He enjoys playing football and he enjoys being in Liverpool. And you can't buy experience. That's all I can really say about that, mate.
No, exactly. With Milner, it just shows the professionalism of James Milner as well. There's not many footballers around the world now that take massive pay cuts, even if they are the age James Milner is. Because let's face it, all footballers have got egos. Every footballer's got an ego. It's just the way it is. So to take that pay cut, if it is true that he's on 80 grand from 180 grand, it's a huge pay cut. I mean, it's not going to cut into his life, obviously, because he's not the going out partying kind, is he? So he's probably got money saved. But you know, he's professional. Jurgen Klopp just likes professionalism around. Right, we go. You want sentimental, guys? I'll tell you who's sentimental. Man United, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wouldn't have been there for 3 years if they weren't sentimental. That's sentimental. You have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at a team that uncoaches your whole squad for 3 years, and you buy ridiculous amounts of players on ridiculous wages. This is what I'm talking about. Everyone with money nowadays. You know, they go and buy Jadon Sancho, stick him on 350 grand a week straight away. Look, we've got apparently Darwin Nunez coming through the door on 98 grand a week. He's apparently going to be on 98 grand a week. That is 2 grand less than Eddie Nketiah's new contract at Arsenal. You know, it's just the sentimental factor of it. I don't get it, but I see it a lot now, all over the place, on a lot of channels, Edward. And
yeah,
I just find it funny. And like my man here says, where is he? Alistair, don't tire yourself all the time. That is a fair point, Alistair. I do agree. You get a lot of mature 20-year-olds as well. So that is a fair point, my friend. Well said. Yeah. Go on, Edward.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the calling show last night as well, as you were. And
it was Neto's Army, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in some respects, I do agree with Jamrock in terms of rotation. You saw one midfielder had 3,000 odd minutes, the other one had 2,000. And as we saw in the last month of the season, those midfielders, Hendo, Fab, were tired in those finals. But what gets me is these people, these young, well, as I said, I won't tarnish all 20 teenagers in the same brush. I let these people play Championship Manager and FIFA, thinking you can just get rid of all these midfielders all in one go. Listen, these midfielders won us 2 trophies. Yep. We're 15 minutes away from winning the league and lost in the Champions League final. I mean, and listen, these likes of Hendo, Henderson, Milner, it isn't just about what they bring on the pitch. It's about what they do off the pitch. They set the standards of how we play, they set the standards of how we act as professionals. Look at Manchester United is the biggest and best example of this. When Scholes was getting older, when Giggs was getting older, Ferguson didn't just let them go in their 30s. They was there well into their 30s, not because of what they just did on the pitch, but because what their values off the pitch, and that's what Jurgen is doing here as well. I mean, for certain people to say that was just Ben Henderson is totally inconceivable to me. Henderson, as a backup number 6, is still do a very, very good job. And in certain games, I'd want him starting and get over Fabinho against certain opposition. And even as number 8, he can still do jobs against certain opposition. So, and likes of Milner, he would never let anyone down. Sure, Milner wasn't the same player as 2-3 years ago or 10 years ago, but he'll never let you down as a professional. Jurgen gives the instructions for what he wants to do, and he'll do it. I mean, these players in the squad isn't just on the pitch, it's off the pitch as well. And you've got to think about that as a whole. You can't just say, oh, boot them out, they're 30, they can't do what they did before. No, they can't do what they did before. Well, we're not asking, Jurgen's not asking them to do what they used to do before, but because they have the mentality and character, 2 essential ingredients that make this team what it is, by the way, because without that mentality, without a character, we wouldn't have gone head-to-head of Manchester City in 2 seasons. We wouldn't have won the Premier League, and we wouldn't have won the Champions League. So it's not just getting rid of players and bringing in a new set of players. If those new set of players don't have that character, if those new set of players don't have that mentality, then we won't challenge. These players likes of Henderson and Milner. That's why I don't want to loan out Elliott. That's why I don't want to loan out Jones. Because it's not just on the pitch that I'll learn from these guys, it's off the pitch as well. How to act off the pitch. How to get that ingrained into them, that mentality. And so when it's time for Henderson to leave, when it's time for Milner to leave, they will be ready to assume those positions in the future.
Edward, my man.
Easy,
Edward,
Well said, Edmund.
right, Savage. I know you're a bit sick and tired about the way some Liverpool fans are not appreciated enough of what's going on nowadays, and you know they've lived in the last few years, and yeah, I know you're a bit angry. Go for it. Just go for it.
Yeah,
Get me popcorn.
yeah,
out,
man. It bothers me. It probably bothers me more than any other statement I hear from these fans, man. And these are the kind of dudes are the kind of dudes that they're going elsewhere when their missus gets a wrinkle, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Like when
Stop that.
I can see it, man. Because where is this? Listen, Ricky said a lot for me, so that's great. But where is the sentiment? Is Klopp sentimental? Well, he has to be at somewhere. He's going to be a bit sentimental, but the sentiment with Klopp comes when the player's leaving and he brings on a big picture frame for Origi and Lallana. That sentiment. That's a lovely touch. Like there's got to be loyalty. There's got to be trust. Where I give you instructions, we train you with you every day. You put in all the hard work. You trust me as a manager. We go out there and we give the best, and hopefully we come back with trophies, which they've done for each other. All the players that they're saying is sentimental have give Klopp everything, things that he didn't have before he came to Liverpool. So they've done all that for him, and you guys people just want him to just like, okay, you've had a bad game, you're not playing for Liverpool anymore. It's actually ridiculous. Like I'm telling you, people want the NBA, don't they? They want the NBA at the end of the season. No one has any heroes. You get a draft picks, and your top guy goes somewhere else, and you just follow him somewhere else. Like the next generation of football fans are going to have no heroes in football. I promise. They're just going to follow the player wherever he goes. If Salah left here and went to Real Madrid, they become Real Madrid fans, and that's what it's becoming. It's not sentimental at all. When it comes to loyalty on the pitch, like I said, there's going to be times when he's put players on who are better than the ones. So if you put somebody on who's better than Milner, that doesn't mean that when they get on the pitch, you can trust them with everything, because a lot of the times you put them on, and whether they got the talent or not, they don't do what they're told to do. Yeah, I mean, you see when we can see the goal and stuff, a silly goal, and he just starts laughing. You can see it in his eyes. He's like, I've given instructions. And then you see Milner warming up, and they give it the little chat between each other, and he comes on and he does what he's supposed to do. It's simple. It's not flashy. It gets us through the game. I can almost guarantee that you could pinpoint this statement. Just go back on anyone's watch-alongs and just go back to when we've drawn a game or lost a game. This is where these statements come in, because all of a sudden everyone loses their mind now. Like a draw's a loss, everyone loses their damn mind, and it's because we didn't play this person. I've seen it when it came up last time when we drew against Tottenham. Sentiment because he didn't bring Origi on and blah blah blah. Listen, it's not sentiment, bro. And sometimes as well, there's a flow to work with, and there's you're in a flow with the team already. So just bringing people in and out doesn't work like that. But I don't know what people want from the guy. I honestly don't. They just want him to throw people to the side and bring in the new one. I blame. It's a lot of it's come from Man City being around, to be honest, and Guardiola, and Chelsea. Chelsea's got that cut-throat thing with their managers. So when you ask Chelsea fan about who's their favourite man, they don't know what to say. They don't have any love for anyone. You know what I mean? These Chelsea fans had Di Matteo in their squad, and then he managed them for half a season, won in the Champions League, and they don't even care about him. And I think some fans just like being that kind of fan, but I don't really like that. I don't really like it at all. I'm happy with the way Klopp is, the way our club's ran. You know what I mean? We're not going to get our own way every single time, but that's the point, innit? We're fans, we're not the manager, so... Yeah, I get it in the moment. Oh, why didn't he bring blah, 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 and stuff like that? But trust me, it's a football club and it's a business. And whether we just said about FSG giving Klopp the reins to bring people in or send them away, they still care about money being made. And if having Milner's going to harm their profits, they'll tell Klopp he has to go. Trust me. You know what I mean? But they're seeing the bigger picture. What does he do keeping this guy for another year. And, you know, who knows for Milner? It might be his last year in football altogether. Do you just want to throw the guy away and let him find some random club that don't really want him? Because everyone likes to do the beautiful thing. Oh, he's just going to go back to Leeds. He's not going to go back to Leeds. And if he is, he's going to be on the bench. Have you seen the way they run? So you just want him to go to a random club. Yeah, have a little bit of loyalty to these guys, man. They give you everything. You give them everything back. I just don't get this new wave of, we didn't get our own way, so we need to move this guy on. And this thing about Milner taking someone's spot or whoever taking someone's spot, it's just not the truth, is it? If there's a better player who we can buy and we can afford, they're not stupid. These are professionals. It's only in this profession where we question people. On people who are experts at something, it's only this profession where we question them. Every other profession is like, this doctor's doing surgery, mate. Well, I don't know why he's doing that surgery. He's too sentimental. You know what I mean? Use the scalpel. Stop using the new technology. Use the scalpel. It's not that. So for me, man, I'm never going to agree with it. Yes, there has to be a little bit of sentiment in football and loyalty, because without it, it literally is NFL and the NBA. I'm a fan of both. I support the Patriots. I saw what happened. Brady just left. He just left. And it was like, oh, yeah, whatever. Tom Brady's gone. It's fine. Oh, okay. This is what we're doing.
And then all them fans go over and support Tom Brady.
They just leave. Yeah, they just leave. And then now they've all got like Buccaneer tops on with Brady on the back. It's weird, bro. I'm still out here with my Patriots stuff. And they just moved on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what you see.
It's weird, bro.
You see all kids. And I know this because I got a nephew. Yeah, my nephew, he's a massive Tottenham fan, but he loves like Kylian Mbappe. Said, but he's got a PSG shirt. Yeah. You know, because he loves Kylian Mbappe. You know, this is the generation of fans. So when I bring up this thing, I'll get to Rods and Tarmizi next. When I brought this up, I'm not picking on 20-year-olds. Don't get me wrong, 20-year-olds out there. You're not all the same. You're not all the same. But this age group, I've seen it. I watch the Football Terrorists. I watch other, you know, YouTube channels that are like concentrate on top 6 teams, that sort of thing. And when they talk about the youngsters come on and talk about, you know, why is Milner still here? Why is this still here? Why are we still doing that? We should be moving forward with the times and things like that. I've seen Paul Pogba at Man United for 7 years, and I can tell you he's had 5 good games at Man United in 7 years. But I've been told he's the greatest midfielder of his generation. Well, why is Jordan Henderson, in a way, outworked him and outplayed him, but he hasn't got the technical ability of Paul Pogba in the last 5 years? So Jordan Henderson, in a way, under Jurgen Klopp, has been playing at a world-class level when he's not a world-class footballer.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm talking about.
Henderson has worked his way into being this guy, you know. Like it hasn't been given to him. We watched when he was going to get when we finished second. When we finished second in the league and won the Champions League that season. There were talks before that season that it was going to be his last season, bro. Like he was getting left out of the squad and stuff, and then he had the little ankle injury, but then he wasn't playing, and he worked his ass off to get back in this position. He lifted all these trophies, and you just want us to be like. So when people say, "Well, if it wasn't your captain," he is. So
he's catching what
you to do, man. You know what I mean? These lot would have got rid of Steven Gerrard at 29 when he had a groin injury. I swear they would have.
He's the best captain in England by a country mile as well. And look, is he the same player as he was a few years ago? Probably not, because, you know, he's covered so much ground for Liverpool Football Club in 11 years he's been there, especially in 7 years he's been with Jurgen Klopp. His legs might not be what they were.
But Jamie, the thing is, no one is, are there? No one is.
No, exactly.
No one's the same.
He'll probably play less next season because Klopp will look after him. But Klopp, as long as Jurgen Klopp's there, guys, Jordan Henderson ain't going nowhere. I can tell you guys that right now. Because as soon as Milner leaves after his year contract, Jordan Henderson would come the James Milner role in his football club.
Yeah.
And that's what you need in football clubs. You know, we got to get away from there's too much money in football, and I think it blinds a lot of people's vision of the beautiful game, in my opinion. But Rods, you can have your say now, and then Tarmizi, you're next. Go for it, Rods.
I think a lot of these people on like these other podcasts, no disrespect, some of them ain't got a clue. Some of them really haven't got a clue sometimes, you know what I mean? And sometimes people confuse good management skills, man manager skills, with being sentimental. Do you understand what I'm saying? Klopp is one of the best man manager guys you can find. The reason why he's keeping people like Milner around for that, because he knows Milner is good for the team. The amount of experience at the end of the day that he can give to the younger kids coming up. You know what I mean? On how to be a model professional. You know what I mean? One thing about Milner at the end of the day is you never see him out of town languid. You never see him with any other Dorises. You don't see him buying new cars and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? He's a humble guy. Do you know what I mean? He's a humble guy and everything like that. And he's got a lot to offer to the kids coming up through the academy. Do you know what I mean? And plus, he's a good player as well and fit as a fiddle. Do you know what I mean? Who wouldn't want to keep a guy like that around? Who wouldn't? You tell me who wouldn't and think that. So people confuse good man management skills with being sentimental. Do you know what I mean? They're totally different. Do you know what I mean? Sentimental, you're going to keep a guy around and think that in your squad and think that. Even though he's shit, you're just going to keep him around and think that because you like him. That's sentimental and think that. Keeping a guy around and think that because you know he's good for the team, good for the kids coming up, and he's a model pro and think that, right? That is good man management skills and think that. Klopp is no way at the end of the day sentimental for that because, as it's been said before, obviously the panel, if you're shit, you're gone. Do you know what I mean? You're shit, you are gone and everything that. Do you know what I mean? So then how unsentimental you can get. Do you know what I mean? You know, Klopp spots the good characters in people, and he spots what's good for the team, and he keeps those people with good characters and good work ethic. Do you know what I mean? And some that he can offer to people, he keeps them around. He keeps them around because he knows at the end of the day, it's going to be good for the team. And it's a team that matters. Not him, it's a team that matters. He said it before. Do you know what I mean? So Klopp can never, he's not a sentimental guy. He's just a guy that's good man management skills and everything that. And we need a person like that around in our team and everything that. So Klopp, you know what? He's done everything right since he's been there. Obviously, at the day, he's going to make some mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. You know what I mean? There's probably certain times at the day he should have played this player instead of playing that player and everything that. But everybody makes mistakes. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't mean he's sentimental. It just means that you know what? Hey, what? My bad. I fucked up. Simple as that. Do you know what I mean? And you move on. Do you know what I mean? So no way Klopp's sentimental. That's my point.
I love that comment. Sentimental is when the dog shits on your mat and you throw the mat out.
Yeah, innit?
It's a great comment. Big up, Helen. Before I go to Tom is here, like Dave says here, what's wrong with 20-year-olds? What's not wrong with 20-year-olds? They're willing to lose and fight against us. There needs to be a middle ground. I agree with that. There does need to be a middle ground, my friend. I do agree. Yeah, you can keep your Milners and but I understand it. I really do. And by the way, guys, what I'm saying is not to all you guys. Like Dave, I know you're on there all the time, my man. You don't think like that. So I'm don't worry, man. I'm not talking about people like you, my friend. Okay, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, my friend. Tom Izzy, last shout out on this.
Yeah, everyone has pointed out great points, which I agree, all of them. I also want to add up that we don't see Savage talked a lot about this, that we don't see a lot in the training ground, right? I remember when the Barca the 4-0 win against Barca, Klopp says that the high intense in the training ground, the preparation, it's as if it was a real game in just before the game. And also I also want to point out that Klopp felt, how do I say, the guilt that he leaves Taki out.
Yeah.
But he performs ever so well in the League Cup and the FA Cup. So what I'm trying to say is the way he managed teams on and off the pitch in terms of the training preparation is what the narrative was put out differently. How people see it, it was quite different to how they see it. So yeah, look, at the end of the day, we just have to put faith on as long as he's on the stand, whether we got Premiership or the big years at the end of the season, that says everything. But is the journey, as everyone's pointed out, is the journey that we should be enjoying. Yeah, the minutes of some senior players last season, like Fabinho, even Trent. I see yesterday the Colin. They put a lot of major shift, but we have to look at as a collective, as a collective effort. The bench players, they don't just sit on the bench. They say that there's always a purpose why they're on the bench. It's because you fight for places. Trent fight for places because if he doesn't perform, obviously Joe can perform. We see it time to time. It's just that places are up for grabs. Simicas and Robo, we see how Simi do well if he's on the pitch. No one complains. So I don't get it as well, but yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? With our fan base.
Big up, man.
No, totally agree. I totally agree. Just want to put this on the screen.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing, man.
Okay, hang on, let me take that thing down. Go. Oh, there you go. So, Harvey Elliott, 19. Fabio Carvalho, 19. Curtis Jones, 21. Darwin Nunez, 22. Trent, 23. Canate, 23. Diaz, 25. Jota, 25. Joe Gomez, 25. One question, but just a couple of questions before we leave. One, I will say, this ain't a question, I'm just going to put this out there. Liverpool Football Club, I believe, are rebuilding behind the scenes and no one's noticing. Look at them players there, the youngsters that are there that are going to come through in this team. We're rebuilding without no one noticing. It's only like last season everyone said this team's getting old. And all of a sudden, like, the list of players are just shouted out. Kanate at 23 is an absolute beast already. He's only going to get better. Completely bullied most of Real Madrid. Benzema didn't have a sniff in that game, by the way, in the Champions League final, really. It was just fantastic. And, Curtis Jones is a very good footballer. He's still 21 as a baby. He's going to be good.
He's a baller.
Harvey Elliott is going to be a quality footballer as well.
Yeah.
Jota's only 25, got 20 goals last season. Yes, he fell off a bit towards the end of the season, but everyone apart from Sadio Mane and Virgil van Dijk and Alisson probably did for us as well. We've got tremendous footballers there. But one thing I will say, the last man on that list was Joe Gomez, and someone asked a question a bit earlier. I think I started about yes, it was Alistair. I've heard rumours Gomez possibly sign an extension. Do you think this will happen or not, Jamie, with the World Cup coming up? My question to you guys is just a yes or no, quickly go round. Joe Gomez extension, yes or no, Ricky?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Rods? Not as quick as I like.
Yes. I got a bit delayed, brother. Sorry, mate.
Savage?
Yes, but Southgate's never going to pick him.
No. No, it's very true. Edward?
Yes, but only if he wants to stay.
That is a good point. And Tom, is it?
Yeah, he'll sign it just because, in my opinion, what other back four is better than us. So
yes, that is a good point. When I know some people have been Dave and some people have been debating in the live chat. I've been noticing it, and very good points they bring up as well. Some very good points, exactly. Jared and Dave, you bring up some good points. I've got to say you do. The 5 substitution rule comes in next season, and I think it's going to benefit every club in the league. I really do. I know, certain manager at Burnley last season didn't want it because he thinks it only benefits the big teams. But in theory, it will benefit the lower teams as well because, the quality of play you're bringing on might not be as good. But fresh legs make such a difference in the team. And when you can make 5 of them, I think there won't be no injuries. I think injuries will be very small next season because you can take because of the 5 subs. I think. I'm going to do another video for that time, but I just saw Jared and Dave talking about it, and I'll do a video of that time. But guys, it's been great today. I appreciate you coming on for 2.5 hours on your Saturday evening, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a good show, good debate. I really enjoyed myself. And Ricky making his debut. You like it, my man?
Come on, Rick.
Yeah, mate. No, thanks for having me. It's been good, man. It's been good.
Always.
We got you on a lot next season for that Saturday show, haven't we? So yeah, it's good times moving ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Rods, my man, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Don't mention it, bro. Don't mention it. Sorry about the delay, but you know how it goes already. You know what I mean?
Savage, my friend, always a pleasure.
You know the vibes, man. Thanks for having me on, bro. Yeah, I mean, it's always fun chopping up with all the boys and that. So, yeah, man, good chat, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I like debates. I think debates in football is good. As long as you can have, a mature adult debate and it don't get stupid, I think that's what, it's good.
Yeah,
it's a good thing to do. Steve, always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure.
No problem, mate. Yeah, echo what everyone said, mate. Always a pleasure to come on the show. Obviously, speak to the lads and obviously everyone on in the chat as well. It's always a pleasure. Really enjoy it. So yeah, just make sure you do go and subscribe to Jamie's channel if you haven't. He's producing some great content, and long may that continue. But always a pleasure to come on. Thanks for having me, mate.
And Edward, my man, Edward, your questions today, beautiful.
Good. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's been good to chat and debate with you guys. It's been good. Yeah, I liked it.
Edward, I'm giving you man in the match tonight.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
There you go.
And Izzy, my man, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for coming in as well.
Yeah, thank you. You know, here because where I'm at, the Liverpool fans here, they have their say, but they're not on YouTube because I did point out yesterday, Jamie, that we don't monetize, so you know it's great. Yeah. So, but as I said, I'm trying to work that out. So, Brunei.
He's in Brunei, and you're not allowed to.
Yeah. Brunei, in Asia.
Where?
But having said that, Brunei.
Oh, see. Okay.
Yeah. But having said that, I like to hear other opinions from the other side of the world. So I think the community brings us together. Yeah.
Definitely.
So looking forward. Yeah.
Hey, Tom, Izzy, get a VPN and then change your server to
I'm trying. I'm working on it. Yeah. Working on it. I did say that. Yeah.
Come on.
I'm trying working on it.
Before we get out of it, let me just give you all a shout out. But so Ricky, let the world know where they can find you, my man.
Yeah, 1892 Reds podcast. We cover everything transfer news, previews, reviews, and everything Liverpool breaking news. So yeah, come give us a like and a follow over there.
You, Steve.
Yeah, you can find me link below. Statman Stubbs football channel. Do all sorts connections, quizzes, reviews, Premier League predictions. You name it. Transfer news as well. I think I'm about 41 off 300 at the minute. So, guys, if you've liked what you've seen us, obviously, as well as the other people that have obviously been on, just go and subscribe to all the channels. It does make a difference.
Edward, I know you're not a YouTuber. Where can they find you on Twitter, mate?
Okay. As my Twitter handle is at EMJP1991, as written down there. So you can follow me via Twitter there.
There you go. And you'll see Edward always on here. And he's got a Savage. I just removed Savage there.
Hey, man, you tried to kick me out earlier, man. Come on, bro. Yeah, man. Savage talks football for football. Savage talks wrestling for wrestling. Hugo Online, movies, reviews. And then on Twitter, I think it's Savage Talks Ball because somebody took the handle. So yeah, I'll find them anyway. Peace. Yeah, I'll find them, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'll punch them up, man, bro.
And I'm going to get to this guy next. He's the dad of the group. Rods.
Come on, man.
Aye. Granddaddy of the group. Granddaddy of the group. You know? I shaved off my grey beard today, you know, dog.
So, Rods, I know you've started you've redone your YouTube channel, haven't you? So let the guys know.
It's Anfield, Rods and Nick. It's me and my little brother. Do you know what I mean? Trust me, he's more knowledgeable about football than what I am. Trust me, he's good. He's very good. Twitter handle is Anfield Rods as well on Twitter.
Big up to yourself.
Still setting up with my brother. All things Liverpool.
There you go. And Tarmizi, where can the public find you on your social?
Yeah, Twitter handle mtarmizi. I also retweet at people like Paul Joyce and the Anfield Stand and Anfield Edition. But hit me up if you guys have questions, and we can have a conversation. There you go.
There you go, guys. So thank you very much, guys, all you beautiful people. I really appreciate it.
Brilliant show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
The done deal confirmed for Nunez. There we go, guys. Jeez. Ricky.
Oh, get in there.
Leave Ricky alone. Right, guys. Thank you very much for joining, guys. I'll be back tomorrow sometime. So look out for that. Guys, thank you very much for coming. And next week, I am starting my season review from 2010. The homework's done. It's going up live.
Come on, Roy Hodgson.
So Roy Hodgson season review. We're starting from 2010 and going to the season that's just finished. So it's taken a lot of work.
Yeah, that first episode is going to be depressing.
I am looking at all the transfers the players we bought, the players we sold.
Aquilani and all that, yeah.
The game against Northampton, we lost in the League Cup at Anfield. All the embarrassing crap. Make sure you're in for it next week.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Stay there. Hold on.
Rod.
All right. Yo, but I'm here, blood. I'm here. It's the internet's kind of shaky, blood. Internet's shaky around there, dog.
I just heard a woman on the other end of the line, Rod. What are you doing over there?
No, you know what it was? I got a phone call, blood. I was trying to tell the person, hold on a minute, you know what I mean? And they couldn't hear me. Brother, listen, it's been awesome in the thing that, right? Big up, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend in the thing that, and I'll catch you guys next week. I'm going to look at every one of your channels. I'm going to look at your Savage and the new guy up here. I'm going to look at your channel. Statman, I already subscribed to your channel. I subscribed to your channel already.
Yeah, cheers, mate. So, I think I've done the same to you, mate, I think.
Yeah, nice one. So, and Edward, I'm going to link you up still. So, listen, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I've got a show coming up tomorrow. So, guys, take care, and I'll see you guys soon. Nice to be on the show again.
See you, mate.
Much love to everyone.
See you,
and goodbye for now, guys.